PoughkersCountryHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show, for a Wednesday afternoon here in beautiful Dallas, Texas. All right, DeepElemonAir.com is the website. You can find an entire array of shows to tickle your fancy. Is that being picked up? Can you hear my little monkey in the other room banging on the walls?
No.
I'm more concerned as to why he's banging on the walls! You gotta scare him sometimes.
It worked?
Of course it works. Yeah, you just yell. You're a dad. You gotta have that dad yell. Knock it off! And they actually will knock it off for a little bit. Hey, speaking of DeepElemonAir.com and the wide variety of shows that are presented to you, look at this. This is good. This is called Branching Out. Someone posted up on my Facebook page, a new visitor to Deep Element Air, Cole Walsh. I know who this girl is. This girl's like an artist chick.
Okay.
I think she works over at E-Gallery. No, maybe that's not her. Anyway, I thought, no, I get them all confused, you know?
I do know.
She says, I love this. You're going to love this. Deep Element Air is going to love this. Says, it's only taken me 3 years to find a damn reggae channel in Dallas. Thanks for playing. She wants to know where the bomb-ass reggae spot to hang out in Dallas is. Jansen?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's a couple of places.
Couple of good reggae joints?
There are, and I will get back to you on that soon. I'm going to have Christy from Social Butterfly Network give me a good answer on that.
All right, then we'll find out. Very good. See, that's the kind of service you get here at Deep Element Air. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, all right, let's start it out this way. Every day I go to the Facebook page, John Pugs, about an hour or two before the show begins, and I post up a little thing. Let's talk about some topics. What do you guys want to talk about to get the show started here? So I figured, we'll do that again today. I'm not going to be as distracted as I was yesterday. Yesterday I was a little distracted. It was kind of a shorter show. I think we only did about 90 minutes because I got my kid this week, and I love the weeks that I have my kid. Anyone who tuned into the show at the beginning yesterday heard my son's review of Jaws, as adorable as it was. I didn't want to have that happen again. I don't want, come on, we got business to tend to here. We got stuff we got to talk about. So I got him set up in the other room on the other side of the studio. He's got his Xbox. He's got his Aquabat Super Show on TV that he's watching. He's got, I got him his lunch, peanut butter and jelly, salad with some ranch dressing. Yeah, he's all set up. And yet, still, he was banging on the wall, so we're going to try and ignore that. All right, let's get into a couple of topics here that we got. This is from the Facebook page, John Pugs. Every day, I ask for a list of topics to get the show started, just to get us off and running. And let's see. Here, what's it? People are asking questions. This makes sense. People are asking questions about missing podcasts or YouTube clips or whatever it is that I usually post up on the Facebook page. Amanda says, is there a podcast from 328, 329, or 41? I can't find it if these do exist. 328 and 329 will not be as podcasts. They are a part of the overall streamathon that we were doing. So those were not chunked up as podcasts. They may appear in some other form at some later date. We don't know. But they will not be available as the regular podcast. As for 41, that was Monday, April Fool's Day. We didn't do a show because of the streamathon that we had done all weekend. Everybody just needed a day to just kind of calm down, not talk. My voice was totally cashed by Saturday night. I mean, I think I was only texting with, because I was gonna say that I talked to you at all Saturday. No, I think we were texting, but I don't know if we talked.
You briefly, because you briefly called into the Philadelphia show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I was on with that, and it was like, my voice was totally gone. So we all took Monday off. So there won't be a one. Now what happened? Is there one from yesterday? Is it the YouTube thing?
Yeah, it's up.
I think everybody's asking about that one as well.
It's there.
Most importantly, though, honestly, all of your complaints register with me. But Grandma wanted to hear the movie review, so she's all over my ass.
Oh.
She's like, "What happened? I can only watch it on YouTube." All right. So we'll get into that. Or we'll stay on top of that. I'm sorry.
As far as the shows during the streamathon, it's like 79 hours of broadcast. So I'm gonna have to eventually go in there and take it out. And that's
eventually take a break from it. Yeah. Walk away from it.
Yeah, I'll do it in a couple weeks.
Don't obsess on it for a couple of days. Build back up the hunger. All right, here's let's see. Let's start. Oh, Kevin Barber giving the regular post up here on the topics portion of my Facebook page, which I like. Kevin today would like to know, what would you want to do for a living if you weren't a radio personality? Well, having not been a radio personality for the last 18 months or so, I've ventured out into the world to try and see what else it is that I could do. And there's absolutely nothing that I can do. I have no skill sets. I can't sell things. I don't want to buy things. I don't understand things. There's really very little that I am capable of doing other than this. I used to think when I was younger that, boy, I'd love to be a newspaper columnist in a big city. That was always kind of a dream. But now newspapers don't even exist. So even my backup dreams don't even exist in the realities of today's economy. I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. I always used to joke that my backup was rock star, but I don't play an instrument and I can't sing, so, I mean, how realistic is that? What would I want to do for a living if I weren't a radio personality? And, we can drop the radio. I appreciate it. That makes me feel good, but this is an internet personality. This is different. Doesn't pay as well, but I get to make my own rules, so that's, that's all right. Still doesn't pay as well. That's a problem. Let's see here. Says here, really enjoying the show, Pugs. Reminds me of the witty observations delivered to me in person in The Egg. The Egg was Kevin's car when we were teenagers. It was a Pinto, a white Pinto. What would you do, Jansen? If you weren't doing this, what would you do? What would you do for a living if you were? Because my entire knowledge of you is that you are a radio producer of the highest order and an internet entrepreneur.
Yeah, I would be a park ranger.
Oh, really? You would be a park ranger.
Uh-huh.
So
up
if
in
it
the
wasn't
mountains
this,
somewhere.
you would be a park ranger.
Yeah.
Man, what does a park ranger do? What is your what is your understanding of what a park ranger does?
Well, I would basically, I would be like almost like a police in a state park in an area, and basically I would just make sure
teenagers would hate you.
No, I'd be really cool.
Oh, so you wouldn't have the job long.
Yeah, no, I'd be a good one. I'd be a nice one. Making sure hikers didn't get lost. Making sure they're not, destroying.
But they're gonna
stuff.
get lost. They're gonna get lost.
Yeah, and that's
and
why
people are gonna lie to you because you're the fuzz. People go to the woods to do. I don't know what. I guess there's really two speeds with the woods. There is. You either go to the woods to be incredibly over-the-top wholesome and family and, camping and fishing with the sun and all that stuff.
Which is me.
Or you go to the woods to get into some shit. There's no other reason to go to the woods.
No.
Right? I mean, that's like two completely polar opposite types of people all engaging at one time in the woods, and you're there to make sure the peace is kept.
See, but I would be like almost like a Rambo type of park ranger, where I'd be like up in the trees.
I'm liking this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd have like zip lines and shit. And I'd be like, wow. Hey, we actually got a call. It's Jasmine from the Reggae Roots Show.
Oh, Jasmine from the Reggae Roots Show, heard here on DeepElmOnAir.com. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Hey, look, we just got a new viewer, listener, consumer, whatever, of Deep Ellum on Air. Her name is Cole, and she's been looking for a reggae channel for years, something to listen to, and she found you guys, and she's very pleased, but she wants to know where is this is a quote now, bomb-ass reggae spot in Dallas.
Oh, man, I'd really have to say that the bombest reggae spots in Dallas are in Oak Cliff, because that's where all the Rastas are. I don't know the names of those spots, but it really depends on what kind of reggae you're into, too. Like, for bona fide roots reggae, just look up Rastafarian spots in Oak Cliff. You can look them up on Google, and they'll pop up for you.
No.
But if you like dance hall and stuff like that, like the Caribbean Grill in Northwest Dallas and Heroes are both really good spots.
Okay, so those are in Northwest Dallas, those last two?
Heroes is right off of Park Lane and Greenville, and Caribbean Grill is in Northwest Dallas.
Hey, here's the thing, Jasmine. Now, the Oak Cliff locations sound authentic and they sound really cool, but are they suburban friendly?
Are they suburban friendly? Yeah, definitely. Like, generally, Rasta communities are going to greet you with respect as long as you're respectful to them, Yeah. They're good people, good-hearted people.
What about the community that will greet you while you're walking from your car?
you. Yeah, they're usually like in the arts district, so that's not so much a problem.
Oh, okay, so like over by Bishop Arts
Yeah,
in that
Bishop
area?
Arts area.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
fantastic
exactly.
part of town. I love that part of town. All right.
Excellent. There's some really cool stuff going on down there.
Yeah, love it. All right, thank you, Jasmine. We appreciate you calling in and helping out one of the new listeners of Deep Ellum on Air.
My pleasure. You guys have a wonderful day. Listen to Reggae Roots.
Reggae Roots, right there on deepellumonair.com. She seems nice.
Yeah, she's great.
She's
in a band, a reggae band too. Pillar of Zion.
She's in a reggae band?
Yeah, she's the singer.
Cool.
Yeah, one of the singers.
That's kind of hot.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. That's attractive. You know, that's like a girl that's like totally into something that you wouldn't think.
Well, see, we had two.
She
me.
sounds like she's from Frisco.
Well,
why it's kind of
her family are
intriguing to me.
are from Jamaica.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So she's authentic. See, it's me and Professor Green. We started the show a few months ago, and we're two white guys,
Right.
and we love reggae.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like we need some flavor to the show.
Yeah.
So when Pillar of Zion came in, they started coming in a lot, and then we just asked Jasmine if she'd help us co-host.
Oh,
and-
very cool. Look, see, organically. And now you got a cool little show there.
Yeah, she's great.
All right, let's see. Back to the list. What would you be? All right, we covered that. You would be a park ranger.
I'd
if
be
you
a
weren't
park
doing
ranger.
this.
I'd be a cool Rambo park ranger.
Do you know what? Okay, let me answer this obviously because, we have a lot of regrets in life. There are a lot of things you get to a certain point in your life and you're like, oh, man, I would have done that differently. Oh, I would really like to have done that. I am now, like, looking at the world around me as a man with a child and all that stuff. And sure, I still love, that I followed my dream and I was able to do it for a period of time and I seem to be not giving up or whatever. But you know what I think I might like to be? A police detective. I never in my life wanted to be a cop. Never in my life wanted. But I am so intrigued now by these murder investigations that I watch on CNN or Court TV or Nancy Grace. I'm following this Jodi Arias trial. Yeah, are you following this thing?
No.
Well, the only reason that Jodi Arias trial is a big deal is because she's hot. She's really hot. She's a crazy bitch who went nuts and killed her fiance because her fiance was going to Mexico with another chick. She killed him,
Wow.
and then she stabbed
How
him.
do I not know about this?
Oh,
When did
man,
this
it's
happen?
huge. Oh, it happened a couple of years ago. But she's been on trial now for the last month. It's a big deal. So Jodi, and she's everybody's talking about her. And just go ahead, Google search the name Jodi, Jodi. I think it's the cutesy spelling. Jodi, Arias, Arias. She murdered her boyfriend while they were, canoodling. He got up to take a shower, and she killed him. You got nothing? You got any pictures of her?
Yeah, but I don't.
right.
Yeah, she's not ringing a bell.
So here's the interesting thing about her. There are two Jodi Ariases. There is the Jodi Arias that's on trial, who is this mousy, yet kind of attractive, has this kind of librarian look going with these glasses. And then there's the Jodi Arias who was accused of killing her boyfriend. And this chick has bleached blonde hair and extensions and big implants and a bikini body. And she's like a bikini model chick. She's like a typical, imagine any bikini model chicks that you know around town here. We have quite a few. But that's what she's like. She's like a bikini model chick. But now that she's on trial, she's making herself look all mousy and all meh, and she's still kind of hot. So, all right. So, yeah. Anyway, following all of these trials and all this stuff, and I'm getting off on the police work and just the real minutiae, the attention to details. I really and I'm not an attention to detail guy, but for some reason, if it's CSI or something like that, I'm kind of intrigued. So there you go. That's an honest answer.
Wow.
That's what I might want to be. I might want to be an investigator.
It's funny how we both kind of answered something similar, in law enforcement.
No.
It's not really similar.
No, mine is really cool, and you're just looking for a place to get high.
No.
You're just looking for a place where you can get high at
No,
work, and you
come
think
on.
walking around out in the woods is going to be a fine cover for
No.
Yeah.
I want to be in the mountains so bad.
Okay.
I am. I'm
Yeah,
going to retire
to
in
get
the mountains.
high.
No.
Yes.
I love the mountains.
Yes.
I love skiing. I love mountain climbing.
you. All right, let's go to some other ones. Here's no more questions here about what station are you on? Jordan Bollinger would like to know that. Well, it's not. Well, the station is deepellumonair.com. Deepellumonair.com. Let's see. Here's another one. Doug Kojak. Kojak, our old buddy Kojak. He would like to know, have you hammered the reality idiot to death yet? Well, yes. As a matter of fact, I think I got into it with, well, nobody, but we talked about, Shane Gandy
Oh yeah.
from Buckwild on MTV. He died along with two other dudes. They found him. He went missing on Saturday night. Last was seen at the local bar there. We'll just call it Cooter's Pub, proclaiming at 3 a.m. that he's drunk as shit and I'm going mudding. That's a quote, direct quote of what Shane Gandy was last heard to be saying. I'm drunk as shit and I'm going mudding. Who's with me? And they went mudding. Drunk as shit on Saturday night. Nobody saw him until they were found. Actually, why don't we give this a listen here? I think I got this ready. You want to pull this up?
Yeah, they got to be one of the only people in the world who ever died of mudding. Like, God.
Is it? I don't know. Or is that something that's not?
I used to do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, in the autopsy yesterday proved carbon monoxide poisoning. These drunk guys fell in a mud hole in the truck. The truck got stuck. And they probably decided to just go to sleep.
Wow.
Not realizing that the truck was still running. The exhaust pipe was buried in mud, so all of the carbon monoxide just came right back up inside the Bronco, and they were found. Well, here it is. Let's listen. This is actually pretty powerful stuff. This is the 911 call from the friend of Buckwild, MTV show. Buckwild, Shane Gandy, friend of his, finding his body.
April 1st, 2013. The time, 11:24 a.m.
Metro Communications.
I have an emergency. I have 3 dead people up on top. It's called Haley's Flat up Wolf Pen. My name
Okay, calm down. Where at up there?
up Wolf Pen.
Okay.
They were going to ratify a missing persons.
Do you know an address?
Sandy, I don't know an address.
Do you see a house
It's at
number or anything?
It's Thaxton Holler, Soul Lane. Up
Soul
Wolf
Lane?
Pen. Soul, S-O-L.
Okay. How far
Up
up
Wolf-
on Soul Lane?
Soul Lane. The paramedics that live out here in Cincinnati they'll know. Thaxton Holler.
Okay, honey, there's no
Wolf Pen.
guarantee that those medics are on duty. How far up Soul Lane?
All right, how do you live in a remote area like that where the emergency workers don't even know how to get there because there really ain't streets because it's just, you're on the side of a hill. And your only hope is that the EMTs that live in the area will know what I'm talking about. So you got to hope that they're working.
I mean, that just shows you how small of a town that is. Just
Yeah.
because he's like, hey, they'll know.
Rural living, boy, I'm telling you, it's different. I mean, I don't think I've ever lived more than a mile from a fire department. I mean, that's just how I am. I'm not that rural.
Ma'am, I don't know. We're up on top of a hill.
You're on a
we're
hill?
Up,
Is it at a house
fuck.
that they're at?
No, they're up on a hill in a mud hole in their Bronco, too. We've been looking for them for 2 days. Oh, my God.
Is there any way somebody can meet them off the hill?
I can lead them down there and bring them up here. That's the only thing I know to do.
Okay, where do
Oh,
you want to
my
meet
God.
them at?
I know. I'll come up with Wolf Pen
Okay.
and Thaxton Holler. I'm coming out there on a four-wheeler.
You're going to meet there at Wolf Pen and Thaxton
Jesus,
Hollow?
they're there. Oh, my God.
Are they inside the vehicle?
Yeah, all 3 of them. How many's in there, 2? Is it just David and Shane? All right.
What's their names?
It's David Gandy and Shane Gandy.
David and Shane Gandy?
Yeah.
Does it look like what happened? Can you tell?
No, they're...
Huh?
No.
No. Does it look like any gun or anything's been used?
See, now like the basic questions are being asked. Like,
Yeah.
were they shot? Was it execution? Because, it's odd to just find 3 bodies dead without any obvious signs of trauma or something.
And plus she has to ask those questions for the safety of the officers and anyone else that's going to be arriving. Because ambulance can't even go on a scene of a crime if there's been like gunshots and
Until the
gun wounds
police
until
get
the
there?
police get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they would have to secure it first.
Yeah.
Did you know that from your work on the hit television show Cheaters?
No, I actually did I got like 18 hours in law, in criminal law.
Look at you. You are an interesting.
No, it's fucking a mud hole.
Okay, just stay on the phone with me for a second, honey. I've got them on the way, okay? And they're in a Bronco, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And does it look like somebody's done anything to them, or?
No.
But they're definitely not breathing, correct?
No, man.
Are they cold to touch? Have you been able to touch them?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Don't see any drugs or anything, do you?
No.
See, now that's an interesting question because here's what I was listening for. When she asked that question, because I've seen the show, and obviously MTV doesn't show them doing any drugs. But I'm watching these guys. These guys are doing drugs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm not just talking about smoking a little weed, because they all probably have a patch of weed plants somewhere out there in those hollers, you know? I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm talking about other things. I mean, these guys act
Like
so
some
crazy.
meth and
Like
stuff
some
like that.
meth,
Yeah.
something that just makes them nuts, makes them go, oh, what, buck wild, you know, whatever it is. So I wanted to hear when she said any drugs. I was actually kind of interested. All right, if it was a friend of mine and this was the situation, I would probably say something like, when she said, no, are there any drugs? I would say, no, he doesn't even do drugs. You know, I would like say that. Because it's true. That would be my natural reaction. He didn't really say that with this guy. He just said no. Doesn't really, no.
What is your name? And is your phone number 6?
Yeah, that's my son.
His name is even vulgarity. These hillbillies.
Yeah.
And how long have they been missing?
They've been missing.
They'll name a kid anything.
Since Saturday?
Yeah.
And this was
No,
this was
10 years,
Monday.
This was Monday morning, yeah.
no. Oh,
We're listening to the 911 call placed to Sissonville 911 when the body of Shane Gandy, the star of MTV's Buck Wild, was found dead with two other guys in their Bronco in a mud hole.
Do you know how old they are? What?
I'm sorry. Look, I am sorry. I'm sorry. This is not. I don't know this person. This person may as well just be a fictional television character to me. He was presented to me as this animated goofball and, you know, an idiot. And I sat there on my couch going, this moron's going to kill himself. This moron is going to kill himself doing this crap. And now here we are a month later. This moron has killed himself. And I can't pretend that this is sad. I can't pretend now that I didn't sit there and watch this on television with 20 million other Americans going, this motherfucker's going to kill himself, and now he's dead, and I'm reading these comments. Heartbreaking. It's so sad, but I wonder why they didn't get out of the car. This is not sad, man. You know what's sad? Newtown is sad. Newtown, Connecticut is sad. The Aurora shootings are sad. What is sad? Mike McClellan, the Texas prosecutor who was gunned down in his home along with his wife on Saturday. That's sad. This is not sad, man. This is some idiot who did something really stupid, something that probably how does he not know? Okay, first of all, don't just sleep in the car if you're stuck in the mud. Get out of the car and go home. Go home. Don't just sleep in the goddamn. Who would do that?
Well, do we know that that's what happened?
Well, what else? Well, give me your theory on what happened. Here's what we know. His last words at the bar in Sissonville, Cooter's Pub, as we're calling it, was, I'm drunk as hell, and I'm going mudding. Who's with me? And that was the last thing that people remember him saying. And then he went off mudding with his uncle, who's like 50, who should know, but well, he does live in Sissonville, West Virginia, so maybe he doesn't know better, but he should know better. He's out with him and some other guy, some other 27-year-old guy. They go out mudding, and that's that. They are found 3 days later in a mud hole, mud up to both one side. I'm sorry, the driver could have gotten out. The passenger side door was blocked, so it's not like they were trapped, and they were found dead. No trauma. They weren't killed. Carbon monoxide poisoning is now the official cause of death by the coroner.
All right. So I think that they were obviously, a little scared because they couldn't get out. And I remember how yesterday I looked up all that info on carbon monoxide poisoning and how long it takes.
Right.
Well, I looked more into it. And depending on how much they were getting in that car, they could have been knocked out within as quick as 20 minutes. If it was going straight into that cab of that Bronco, and if it's one of those smaller Broncos, it could easily fill up really fast. And within 30, 45 minutes of them trying to get out, they could knock themselves out.
All right. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of a million reasons why someone like me wouldn't have been mudding while drunk at 3 a.m., okay? Because there's too many X factors, too many things that could go wrong. These morons consider, look, hey, they died like they lived their life. Buck wild. I'm sorry to say, but there is a price for living buck wild. And this is the price. And I'm not going to pretend like it's some great loss to humanity. Whoa, my son Mason is now chiming in. Hi, Mace. Are you done playing video games?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, we'll diverge away. Are you just going to mimic me? Everything I say, you're just going to repeat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He does this thing dude. All right, here's an amazing. You don't have any kids, but if you have kids, you might get off on this observation I'm about to make. For about the first 2 years of his life, he was completely useless. He was just completely. You can be nice with that.
Yeah,
just
don't touch.
don't touch. You don't have.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Okay. Shh. Daddy's working. You need to be good. All right. So he was useless for the first couple of years. Are you going to have a conversation with me or not? Yeah. Okay. You can put his mic up a little? All right. Say something.
Okay.
All right. Now, talk
Don't
calmly.
touch the mic, though.
Don't touch the microphone. Okay.
There you go.
Back off a little. Yeah, you can just get right here. There you go. And now we hear you just fine.
Yeah.
So he was
He
totally
was.
useless. But now, it's like, and this is something I think every
This
parent.
is thinking it's I didn't.
All right, this is not going to work. I'm trying to tell a really sweet story about you, and you're driving me nuts.
No.
No? Here, wait, get this. This is his best joke.
All right, don't do that.
Yeah, you feel free to tell him what to and what not to do.
Don't do anything.
Yeah,
Just
don't
sit there.
just sit there.
No, I just sitting here, just chill.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, just
there
sit there
be
and
true.
chill. All right, is his mic up?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him a question. This thing kills me. Hey, Mason, what does a cow sound like?
Where is he?
You got to stay on that microphone.
You gotta stay on this mic.
You know, this bit is going to tank. Oh, you want to sit there now?
Yeah.
Okay. What does a cow do?
Scatter.
You ruined the joke. You ruined the joke. What does a cow do?
Moo.
What does a European cow do?
Scatter.
Okay, I know that's not funny to anyone but me. That's a Family Guy joke that he tells. You know the show Family Guy? You know how they do like cutaways, like they'll say, "Oh, this is as frustrating as that time."
Yeah.
Ooh.
You need to knock it off, or you're gonna go in the other room. Okay? Do we need to call Boogie? Jansen, do you have Boogie's phone number?
I do.
Do we need to call Boogie?
Yep.
Okay, well then don't yell. These microphones are very sensitive. Okay? You know what? Here's be a good time. Maybe we play a song.
Okay, I won't call it now, but All right.
It can be a good. See, Boogie is the boogeyman, and he has this old, broken down, scary house, Boogie's house, which is over by our place, and that's where really bad little boys go. Oh. No, yeah, he didn't have his headphones on, but don't do that anyway. There's no need to scare him because we're being very serious about Boogie, right? Boogie's not a joke, right, buddy? And
Yeah, right.
So can you talk like a normal little boy? Okay, put his mic up again. Let's try this. All right, so let's try this one more time. Okay, what does a cow do?
Moo.
What does a European cow do?
Scatter.
Okay, I know it makes no sense. All right, Family Guy. So Stewie goes, "Ooh, this is as frustrating as the time I had to play with that European speaking spell." And it was like all these animals. You know, the cow goes, the pig goes, and when he pulled the cow, the cow goes, "Skadamoosh." And Stewie, it certainly does not. So just a little cultural thing, but it's funny. He picked up on that, and he walks around the house going, "What does a European cow say?"
Scatter.
To me, that's funny. Let's play a song. Get me out of this hell trap.
Okay.
We've derailed the last 10 minutes of the
All right,
show.
am I playing a song or are you?
Nah, you go ahead.
I
You
ain't.
play a song. We'll take a quick break. I'll get him set back up with another Xbox game. That'll buy us about 20 minutes or so. And we'll come back. We'll get more into all of this stuff. I want to talk about Rutgers basketball coach. I want to talk about Jimmy Fallon and Jay Leno. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Bus a bus. We're going to talk about how the media can so easily assassinate one's character. One's character being a bus. It's Deep Ellum on air.com.
This is exactly where we started, and it seems like yesterday. We're still chasing the same trend. Still fighting for our lives. Will it ever end, or will we ever get saved? fall to us. Like we're running in circles.
HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show on DeepElemOnAir.com. Jansen, who was that?
That was Kid Liberty.
Kid Liberty.
Yeah.
More local music. That's all we play here is local music.
That's right.
What was the
Well, that's
name
all
of
we
that song?
play when I'm playing music. You play your Chicago local music.
Ah, that was all
Which is
retro
cool.
stuff. Yeah, that was
like
just
it.
a little special thing. I thought we had an agreement, young man. Did we not have an agreement? You're gonna let Daddy and Jansen do their show, right? Oh, you're just gonna be quiet. Okay. Do not touch that. That is it. Jansen gave you money.
Yeah, I
Jedi
paid
gave you some
I paid
money
you
to be
off,
good,
bro.
and you are not being good. Okay, you want to sit and listen? Okay, all right. If Daddy gets excited, don't freak out. Okay. You can put his mic up a little bit. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, so you can be quiet. Okay. European cow says what? Yeah. All right. Let's get back into it. So anyway, we wrapped up there with the Shane Gandy talk. It's carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. You're not supposed to talk.
Why?
because I'm trying to do something, and you said that you would be a good boy. So please don't talk. I know it's tempting. But you're being distracting.
Something me.
Do you want? You know what? Well, I would give anything for him to go back to being that 2-year-old just lump of uselessness. All right, I love you, buddy. Okay.
But where's my money?
Where's your money?
Yeah.
You want me to give you your money too? And then will you go in the other room? Oh, look at this. I'm totally paying him off. Totally paying him off. All right, here, let's see what we got in your monies.
No, I just want all.
It's all silver. Ooh, that's good. All silver is good. All right, here you go. Here. Scoop that up. Now get out of here, okay? Sorry, folks. But, one of the things about .com radio and internet radio is that we don't get paid enough to afford childcare. But the rules are lax enough where we really don't need it. See what happened there? See what happened? Say sorry, Jedi.
Sorry, Jedi.
It's okay.
Okay, now get out of here.
Play your Xbox.
I love you. All right, I'm sorry about that. He's all keyed up today. You know why? Because it's been 2 days of rain and cooped up inside, and it's just nasty. Speaking of the weather, why the hell is it 45 degrees right now? Or at least that's what it says.
Because the universe loves me, my friend.
Well, I mean, I'm sure this is great. All right, right here it says it's 48. At my house, just a couple blocks away, it says it's 45 degrees. Wasn't it like 80 the other day? We were thinking about going swimming, Mason and I.
Yeah.
And now it's 45
I heard that.
degrees.
Yeah, I love it. Please.
You love it?
I feel like I've gotten ripped off these last 2 years this winter.
Man.
It just hadn't been really cold.
But it can't. But this is not natural. It's not that it's cold. It's that it was really hot, and then it got really cold again. Like 2 weeks ago, it got really cold for a couple of days, and then it got really hot again, and now it's really cold again.
The only thing I think of when it's really cold is how much money I'm saving not running the AC.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's true. Oh God, yeah. Have you had to run the AC here?
Yeah.
You've been here long enough that I'm sure that's.
I had to run it the other day.
Oh my God, that's not easy. All right, sorry. The last thing we talked about was the reality show guy, Shane Gandy. It's now been confirmed. It is a carbon monoxide death. My throat is still really bad. It hasn't come back totally.
Need some tea.
Well, you know what it is? I haven't done a show regularly in 6-7 months now, 8 months maybe. And so I'm just not. It's like my throat is out of shape. Ugh.
It's a muscle too.
Yeah, it is. All right, I'm sorry, folks. Let's see here. What else do we have to talk about? 3 prisoners escape in 2 days. Why is it so easy? That's from Julie. I'm sort of peripherally following that story. I can't really comment on that.
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't know anything about that. Noah Adams wants to say Mark Cuban would consider Brittany Griner in the draft. All right, you know who Brittany Griner is?
No.
Brittany Griner is the Baylor women's basketball star, like the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. She's like the greatest female basketball player of all time. Mark Cuban would consider Brittany Griner in the draft. All right, here's if Mark Cuban actually said that, Mark Cuban's a smart guy. You can't go wrong saying that. If I was Mark Cuban, I would say that too. Would I consider it? Yes. Does that mean I would draft her? No. Why? Because ultimately she's still a woman. And I'm sorry, but there is a difference in the physical abilities of a fully grown NBA male player and a fully grown WNBA woman. Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to see it. I wouldn't like to see somebody try it, but I wouldn't do it if I was Mark Cuban. I wouldn't take that risk. Somebody else might. You know who could? A team that's really got nothing going for them. A team that's absolutely in the bottom of the... Who would be a good team for this? Yeah, maybe someplace far off the...
I mean, realistically,
I'm trying to think.
Is there any way that the best woman in the WNBA is even good enough to play against a man?
The question would be: is the best woman in the WNBA better than the worst guy in the NBA? That's the question. And if the best woman in the WNBA is better than the best guy in the NBA, then yeah, that's easy. Then sure, she deserves to play. And if at some point women can compete with men on the NBA level, then I think that they absolutely should do it. But I'm telling you that they won't be able to do it. And I'm not a male chauvinist. I'm not at all. I was raised by a single mom. I believe that women can do absolutely anything that a man can do when it comes to the brain or the will. Or the ability to learn or comprehend, absolutely. But when it comes to physical feats, the male body is simply a different structure than the female body. We're built for different things, for strength, for core strength, and for brute power and force. Women are not. And that doesn't mean that there isn't a man on this planet that... It doesn't mean that she's not better than most men, but the question is she better than the worst NBA player? And I don't know. I'd like to see that. How do you determine who the worst NBA player is? Because you know what? A couple of years ago, the worst NBA player might have been a guy named Jeremy Lin, who suddenly got a chance to play, and everybody went, hey, where did this little runty Asian kid come from who's suddenly really good? Down there in Houston, he's got a big payday now. So I don't know. Is she, and was Jeremy Lin actually the worst player in the NBA at some point? I don't know. He may have been considered as much, but I don't know. So there you have it. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Did you hear that Mark Cuban said that he was considering Brittany Griner? Maybe with like a late round. I don't know. I mean, how valuable are draft picks in the NBA?
Dude, you're asking.
I mean, I know the first round is and the first second, but I mean, how many rounds are there in the NBA draft? I don't know. I don't follow the NBA draft the way I do the NFL draft. I don't think anybody follows the NBA draft the way they follow the NFL draft. Okay. Let's see. Another question here. The Stars trade off all their players for prospects and picks. Well, yeah, the Stars are. Hey, when your hockey team rolls out a billboard campaign on the freeways that circle the city that say the Young Guns have arrived, and they show a bunch of NHL players that you've never seen or heard of before, well, it doesn't bode well for the immediate future. So it doesn't surprise me that the Stars are completely in disrepair. Let's talk about sex, baby, Donna says. Sorry, I just thought of that song after reading your post. Sex. Yeah. Don't really have much to... What's going on in your sex life? I got nothing to report. You got anything you want to chime in with? Sex life, scale 1 to 10, how's it going?
It's 10. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of boring sexually.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, you know, I'm not one of those guys that, you know, ever went out all the time, you know, looking for strange or whatever. I'm good, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty reserved. I always feel bad for the girl.
Oh, I don't feel bad.
That's my problem.
I always please.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm not really into that. Hey, if that happens, good. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm selfish. You know, I have a horrible self-image. So, yeah. Lights off, shirt on. Well, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Oh, actually, no, it probably is, which is why we won't be talking about sex until I start having some, which I really am not in the market at the moment. So much porn available. I mean, it's just like, what's the point?
So, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit, though. You're not in the market? You're really not interested in hooking up with anyone right now?
Not at all. Not in the least. Because when I date somebody, I like to date. I like to go out to nice dinners. I like to have fun. I like that. I have no money. Everything's on a budget these days. I've gained 40 pounds. I haven't been clothes shopping in over a year. Every spare moment that I have where I could go out, I'm trying to have my kid. You know, I'm just like, I'm just not interested. I'm not. Now, that's not to say that I won't be ever again, but I'm just so, it's not, it holds no appeal to me. Not interested. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, it's not to say that I won't be once I start feeling better and about myself and about life and all that stuff. But, you know, also, here's the thing, dude. I know a little something about myself, and that is that I'm an only child who was raised by a single mom. I like people don't understand that being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Did you get that?
Yes.
I am a solitary guy. I love being alone. And I think that's why my real deep and committed relationships tend to fade, because I like to be alone. And when you join in matrimony or a commitment with somebody, you have to sort of give up a lot of your alone time. I don't do that. I just like to be alone. I like to be left alone. I don't want to talk. You know, I used to think it was because I'd go and I'd do a radio show for 4 or 5 hours a day where all I did was talk, that when I came home, I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk on the phone. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And that's unfair. So I'm kind of like a terrible person to be around. The only person that I really enjoy being around is my kid. So, yeah. So, no, I'm not even interested right now. All right, let's go back to the Facebook page and find more topics that people want to talk about. Bill Falk, here's a good one. The Rutgers coach who got fired for abusing players. And then somebody else also asked about that. They wanted to know how he compares to Bobby Knight. Where is that one? Here, I'll follow. Let me read that one. Are you familiar with this story?
No, I'm not.
No? How about Coach Rice and the correlation between his style of coaching and Bobby Knight? All right, the head basketball coach over at Rutgers University, he's, here, let me find the story just so I'll have it all right for you. Mike Rice, he is the head basketball coach at Rutgers University. Back in December, he was suspended for verbally abusing players. Okay? No big deal. Then yesterday, a tape went viral, a compilation tape of this guy, Mike Rice, beating the holy, just screaming, kicking, throwing balls at his players, calling one an effing faggot fairy. I mean, it was like, it was all filmed from the bleachers, you know, like people were recording practice. It must have been somebody who was recording the practice for the team who then had access and just made this greatest hits tape of this guy in practice being a total asshole. So I guess the correlation between Mike Rice's coaching style at Rutgers and the legendary Bobby Knight's very volatile coaching style is that Bobby Knight won. This guy sucked. This guy absolutely blew as a coach. 38, and here, I'll find you his record. He's not even 500. He's like, let's see if we can find it here. Damn it, I can't find it. At any rate, it was he was let go, and you know what he is? He's one of these guys, man. Here, I'll read some of these releases, okay? And then I'm gonna read the ones that are directly from him. Rutgers Athletics released this. Based upon recently revealed information and a review of previously discovered issues, Rutgers has terminated the contract of Coach Mike Rice. Let's see if I can find this. Rice also issued a statement, according to ESPN SportsCenter. It says here's Mike Rice himself. I can't say anything right now except I'm sorry. I've let everybody down. Former Rutgers basketball coach Mike Rice. Here, you know what? Let me just play the story, if you don't mind. I've got it queued up. We're ready to go, barring any kind of a 30-second advertisement. And, of course, we got a 30-second advertisement. But that's okay. The questions are being made today about this guy and Bobby Knight, and it's simple. Bobby Knight's style produced winners, so when you win, we really don't cast that bad of an eye upon this kind of behavior, because nothing matters in college athletics other than a win. Bobby Knight was successful, therefore Bobby Knight was accepted. And he wasn't even really accepted. I mean, Bobby Knight was bounced around. Indiana kicked him out. He ended up ending his career at Texas Tech. So Mike Rice, the big difference is that Mike Rice sucks. Here's the story from ESPN.
As I stated 3 months ago.
This is Mike Rice.
After I watched the video, how how deeply regrettable those actions. I also stated I was going to try to work on changing, and I think I've accomplished a lot of that.
I don't think this guy will ever work again in college athletics. You have not seen the video, have you?
No, I haven't.
This is just, we're not in the area where a Bobby Knight would be nurtured and allowed to be successful anymore. Everything is videotaped. I mean, could you imagine if people were videotaping every Bobby Knight practice back in the 1970s with IU or back in the 80s, how insane those video compilations would have been? It's a different era. You have to treat these are not your players. These are other people's children. That's how college athletes are looked at these days. And certainly when you have a busted coach like this, a guy who's never won anywhere, absolutely sucks. I'm going to find his record. His record is terrible. I thought I saw it was like over a 3-year period, missed the tournament all 3 times. He was dead last in the Big East. He was like 33 and something, 33 and 60 something. I don't know. It was terrible. You can look it up on your own. But this guy, all right, we'll go back to it. Let's listen to more. This is Coach Mike Rice, recently fired from Rutgers University for basically abusing his players. Just being I say he was fired just for being a dick. We just can't have coaches that are dicks like this anymore.
Can't say anything right now except I'm sorry, and there will never be a time where I'm going to use any of that as an excuse. Or will there be any excuse?
Oh, yeah. Falls right back on Coaching 101. No excuses. Never any excuses. Be a man. Take responsibility. No excuses.
I've let so many people down.
Yep. Sure did.
My players, my administration, Rutgers University, the fans. My family, who's sitting in their house just huddled around because of the fact that their father...
Yeah, their family huddling around. They're hiding. They've seen you. They know how you react to bad situations. You think your players are frightened of you. Imagine how his kids and his wife is. I mean, I know you haven't seen the video. So this guy you're listening to here sounds pretty calm and pretty reserved. If you can probably find the video somewhere, Mike Rice, Rutgers coach, it went viral yesterday, so it would probably come up quick on a Google search. But I just imagine his poor kids, his wife. Oh, bad day in the Rice household. Bad day. And as we've seen, he doesn't handle bad days or bad plays, for that matter, very well.
Was an embarrassment to them. And it's troubling, but I will, at some time, maybe I'll try to explain it. But right now, though, there's no explanation for what's on those films because there is no excuse for it. I was wrong. And
but here's the thing. I mean, you were more than wrong, and you need to address being wrong means you did something once. This tape was a compilation of you were wearing different shirts in every single tape. It was a different day. So this was your style. This is the kind of person you are. That's more than just being wrong. You can't just say, I won't do that again. You got to seriously look at the kind of dude you are, who your mentors were as far as coaching, who your influences were, because, dude, you got short-shifted because you are not prepared to be a modern coach in today's NCAA.
I want to tell everybody who's believed in me that I'm deeply sorry for the pain and the hardship that I've caused them. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, you said you're mea culpa, and now it's time for you to go away for a while, and I don't suspect we'll be seeing you at any major basketball programs in the future. Do you have the video?
Yeah, I got it.
Can we play it? Let's see what the audio is of this. This is the video that circulated yesterday.
Rutgers head basketball coach Mike Rice's fiery style has been on public display before.
He's getting tossed out.
See, look
Known
at that
for
idiot.
his coaching intensity, Rice was suspended by Rutgers for 3 games last December for his behavior at team practices, with few specific reasons
They'll show
cited
you
by
the video.
school officials at the time as to why.
Here it is.
This is why. This is just some of the video
Look at
that
him.
led to Rice's suspension. Outside the Lines has obtained not only the roughly 30-minute video reviewed by Rutgers officials, but also hundreds of hours of additional footage of Rutgers practices from the 2 seasons prior to this year.
Hundreds
There
of
are
hours.
shots of Rice heaving balls at players, even at their heads. which you can see better here when the tape is slowed down.
He's a
seen a
dick.
coach do that? Never. I mean, unbelievable to me that somebody would feel that that technique can be successful.
Eric Murdoch was a first-round
All right,
draft
that's
pick.
all. We don't need to go into. But you saw the video, and that was just sort of a shortened version of the one that they were showing. They didn't show him go off on a kid, calling him an effing FAG, that whole thing. And the guy just, get out of here, dude. You're away. No, kiddo, not you. I wasn't talking about you. I'm not talking to you. I would never tell you to get out of here, dude. Okay? I love you. You can stay there as long as you're being quiet. But this guy's a total. He's just. We don't need this in coaching anymore. I'm tired of this. Did you have gym coaches that thought they were Bear Bryant? Did you have these guys?
Oh yeah, man.
What is it? It's like the biggest jerks among us become gym coaches and become coaches.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like they just want to yell at kids. They just want to yell and boss kids around. And it's not that. When did coaches become drill sergeants? I know that this was like a 1970s thing. Any depiction of a football team would always have that coach that was barking, and it was sort of romanticized as, or quirky. Oh, that's how he is. But no, that's unacceptable. That video that they showed of Mike Rice on television, not the stuff that was done at the practice, not the private stuff at the practice, but the stuff that was actual television broadcasts of his coaching style. Where are you allowed to act that way in public? Where is a guy in a suit and a tie allowed to throw a tantrum, rip his jacket off, throw it onto the floor, and start stomping up and down like a 4-year-old? Where else in society is that considered anything other than completely ridiculous than NCAA basketball? Or even baseball. Baseball coaches do it too. Well, there's something silly about baseball coaches because they're old men in uniforms and it looks kind of cute. The NCAA coaches are wearing Armani suits and they're acting like total children. So, you want to send your kid to go play with one of those guys, fine. I used to think that Bobby Knight was a great coach and I'd want my kid to be playing for a Bobby Knight team. But, I've grown up a little bit. Now I see that dude's just an idiot. That dude ruined players' lives. That dude turned very few people into professional athletes. He milked them. This is Bobby Knight. He milked them for everything he could get out of them in college, and then they never went on to play pro.
Do you think
so screw you, Bobby Knight.
College players should start getting paid? Somebody asked that
Yeah.
the other day. You didn't answer that.
I don't know, man. That's really difficult. Get paid. I think that there needs to be a serious look at the things that they aren't allowed to do. For instance, I don't think a player should lose a year of eligibility because he takes a trip. For instance, okay, here's a good example. I was watching 30 for 30 over the weekend. That's the ESPN documentary series. 30 for 30 on Bo Jackson. Now, you remember Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Remember how Bo Jackson played baseball and football?
Bo knows.
Bo knows. Bo Jackson was the Heisman Trophy winner out of Auburn University. And he was also a standout on the baseball team. Everybody wanted, because he really played pro baseball and pro football. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers called Bo Jackson. They had the first pick in the draft, and he was the Heisman Trophy winner, so they were thinking about taking him. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers called Bo Jackson and said, hey, we want to bring you in for a workout. And he said, yeah, but, I'm still playing baseball. I'm still playing college baseball, so I think that might be a violation of eligibility. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers told Bo Jackson, all right, we'll check on it. We'll get back to you. They called him back. Yeah, we checked. It's fine. No problem. Bo Jackson went to Tampa Bay, took the trip, and then before a baseball game, he came back home to play a baseball game. As he's walking out on the field, the coach says, Bo, can I talk to you? And he's like, yeah. He said, did you take a trip to Tampa Bay? And Bo said, yeah, I did, but they told me that it was fine. I asked them to check on it and make sure that there were no rules being broken. And the coach said, well, you're suspended for the rest of the season. The NCAA has suspended you. Now,
damn.
Yes, but that is why see, what Tampa was trying to do, Tampa wanted Bo Jackson suspended for his senior year of baseball because Tampa Bay was afraid Bo Jackson was going to go into the major league draft, and they wanted to make sure Bo Jackson played football. So they screwed him over. And the NCAA, that's completely unfair. Bo Jackson was robbed of a year of eligibility for baseball because of that. Now, I don't know that college football players should be paid or college baseball players should be paid or women. I mean, where do you draw the line? Are women's water polo players going to be paid? I do think, however, they should be allowed to accept certain things that they aren't allowed to do now. Help with housing. There needs to be, because they can't have a job. See, that's the problem. You know that student athletes who cannot accept money for anything also cannot have a job. I mean, well,
Like
I
that's
think-
part of the rules. They
well,
can't
it's-
have a
there's
job?
something about they can't have. Yeah, some of them can't have jobs, or they can't take outside because there needs to be a way to make it fair.
Yeah.
Because really, the average college athlete who's a standout has nothing. Has nothing if he's playing it fair, if he's playing it right. Now, there are a lot of people who violate the rules, and there are a lot of people who are driving around in fancy cars, and suddenly their parents have a lot more money in the bank account, and that happens. But that happens because the system, I think, is unfair. All right, let's move on. Let's see what else we got here. What else can we talk about today? All right, we covered all that. You know what I need to do? We need to take a break right now. We need to take a quick break, and then what we're going to do when we come back is, man, I got some fun audio. I don't. This may surprise you, but I have long been a closet Bill O'Reilly fan.
Okay.
I'll tell you this much. I think he's a master broadcaster. Technically speaking, I love what he's been able to do with his career. I find many of his positions to be reprehensible. But man, he is going after his own. Bill O'Reilly squares off with fellow conservative pundit Laura Ingraham over some pretty interesting subject matter. We'll do that when we come back. It's DeepElmOnAir.com.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there to play us out. What does that mean? To play us out?
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album.
Deep Ellum on air. Only the best in local music.
Do it live!
From DFW and beyond. Deep Ellum on air.
Son. My broken heart won't stop, it weighs a ton. Well, I can see the light just shining in the dark. Devil's touch won't ever reach my heart. Demons will try to take my soul. In my weakened state without control. Well, I can see the light just shining in the dark. Devil's touch won't ever reach my heart.
SuperHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show, for a Wednesday afternoon, a rainy, cold Wednesday afternoon, deep in the heart of Texas. Felt I had to do that.
All right.
Here at the studios of DeepEllumOnAir.com, alongside my trusted companion, my loyal sidekick, the yin to my yang, it is Jedi Jansen. Hi, Jedi.
Hi.
My kid's in the other room. He's got the pimp setup. He's on
got the what?
He's got the pimp setup.
Oh, pimp setup.
He's got the Aquabats on the TV. He brought his Xbox over with his little monitor. He's got the Xbox set up. He's playing a race car game. He's watching the Aquabats. Life could not be better for that 3-year-old. Good
Man,
for
what's
him.
life like for kids these days? They got the computer. I was actually in the kitchen looking, and one of his episodes was going off.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to have to go in there and, like, figure it out for it. Dude, he, like, gets up, changes it, and it, like, kind of blew my mind. I'm like, what the? I barely even know how to do that.
He called his grandmother on Skype the other day. Just went. He can't dial a cell phone. He has no clue. But he has spent enough time with his laptop watching his Netflix shows and, his educational stuff that we got loaded up on there. He knows how to navigate. Like, he can work a mouse. He understands where the arrow goes, and then he understands which button to click. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what he can do. And now, sometimes there are some things that he can't do. Like, on occasion, you'll hear, Daddy, can you come help me? And I'll have to go help him because some pop-up or something has happened. Something on the computer that's got him all jacked up. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. All right, let's see here. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. All right, so the one thing that I don't want the show to be about is I don't want it to be about politics. I don't want the show to be about nuts and bolts politics. I'm so sick and tired of talking about politics. But politics as they pertain to culture and society as a whole in more generic ways, I think we could, like, for instance, one of the most interesting things that's going on in American culture right now is sort of I was going to say the rehabilitation of, but that's not a fair word, but the Republican Party. Well, what the Republican Party, as a group of people, what they believe, where they're moving, where they're heading towards. Been a lot of talk about how, the last couple of election cycles have sort of shown that the rank and file, God-fearing Americans don't really care for the Bible-thumping stuff. It's been shown that Americans actually are pretty damn okay with gay marriage. They want reasonable talk about gun control. Reasonable. None of this crazy stuff that's being bandied about on both sides. Reasonable conversation about gun control and America's domestic gun policy. I don't think that's insane. And they're also, things as divergent as, marijuana legalization. And, I guess I'm out of things. But, the Republican Party, especially here in Texas. See, I grew up in the Midwest. And the area that I'm from is almost entirely Democrats. But they're a different kind of Democrat. They're not... they're actually kind of like conservative Republicans. The Chicago Machine Democrats were a very conservative group. So, I don't know. I don't really identify with that as far as my own personal outlook. But that's where I came from. Republicans were always rich people out in the suburbs. You know what Republicans weren't? Republicans weren't scary fire and brimstone people. Republicans weren't, people who held signs that said God hates fags and stuff like that. That was not what Republicans were. Now, those might be a crazy wing of the Republican Party, just as, the Democratic Party, they got some crazy people too, blowing up Hummer dealerships for the economy or ecology and all that stuff. I mean, we all got crazy people on the fringes. But the vocal majority of the Republican Party used to be decent, regular, all-American Howard Cunningham types. I just happen to disagree with them on a few key issues, but it didn't make them evil. But now the vocal Republicans just seem so mean.
Well, what's really funny to me? I voted for Bush twice, and then Obama. I don't consider myself any party.
Well, no, I never voted for W.
I did. I voted for him
thought
twice.
He was just horse crap both times. I voted for McCain the first time, and openly, touted McCain against Obama the first time. And I cannot stand Mitt Romney, so I was not going to vote for Mitt Romney. I was very vocal in my support of early Republican candidate John Huntsman. John Huntsman, I would love to see what John Huntsman's going to do this next time, because he is exactly what many people in the Republican Party, consultants and the like, are saying the party needs. The party needs a Republican that's a throwback Republican. The way Republicans were in the 60s and in the 70s. A bit uptight, yeah, but not mean. You know, not crazy.
Wait, so you did vote this last election?
We voted for Obama this last election.
You did vote.
Yeah,
See, I didn't even vote this last election.
Could not.
I'm so disenchanted with it all that I'm over it.
I can't blame you for that. Well, anyway, so the conversation now among the Republican Party, after having lost the last two elections, you know, how big, now we're starting to question how big of a help are things like Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, conservative talkers. Have these groups, these people, have they gone from being an unbelievable advantage that the Republican candidates had? You know, every city where there's a congressman running as a Republican, there is some like jerkwater version of Rush Limbaugh. My God, in this town we got this idiot Ben Ferguson, who I saw last night on CNN. He's actually getting some TV time now. He's a little hate monger. He's like 28 years old and he wears a suit and tie everywhere. You know, he's one of these guys that they show in the radio studio and he's wearing a suit and tie. Dude, it's the radio. What's wrong with you? Suit and tie. Yeah, come on. You worked in radio.
Yeah.
How rare is that? Have you ever seen anybody?
You did see him though, but it was the older guys down on the 5th floor. What's the CBS news station?
Oh, like KRLD?
Yeah, the KRLD AM station. Yeah. Those guys, the old school
radio.
Old
stodgy news guy. Yeah, this is like a 28-year-old talk show host.
Oh God.
And he wears a suit and tie to do the show. Sometimes he'll get wild and he'll wear like an NRA polo, I'm sure. And some khaki shorts. But that's only on Fridays when he's going to hit the links.
Dude,
with all of his buddies who are like 40 years older than him.
I used to piss people off so bad.
Ferguson.
I would wear my Heelys to work. I would wear Heelys, pajamas. I'd be skating through,
God.
man. People would get so mad.
Got into this. Yeah, I remember you wearing like Zubas or like pajama pants and stuff. I used to show up in sweatpants 3 days a week. You know, like a tracksuit.
Yeah,
I looked like
thing.
Looked like Vinny Boomba in my tracksuit 3 days a week. All right. So anyway, there is some dissension among Republicans about which way to go. If the Republicans want to get people like me back, they got to lay off the gays. They gotta be reasonable about the guns. They got to stop with the Bible.
Yeah,
I believe look. The separation of church and state is one of the most important aspects to this whole thing of ours working.
Well, that and you can't say, we need less government. We need less government, and then want the government to get on the gays. It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, you know, there's a story today going around about how they canceled White House tours because of the sequestration, but yet the White House concert series is going on, and some of although the White House concert series is underwritten by some private sponsors, one of them is PBS, the people who create Sesame Street. And of course, you know, we give public broadcasting and the arts and all that $631 million a year. They're making a big deal about $631 million a year is nothing. It is absolutely nothing. We give like $100 billion in defense every year, and we're talking about cutting Sesame Street. You remember they were really talking about cutting Sesame Street. You remember that was a conversation. $600 million a year, folks.
I was listening.
We spend billions on other things.
I was listening to NPR when Rubio gets on and is talking about cutting funding for it. He's on NPR talking to Diane Reeves, talking about cutting it.
Because people know what that is, and people are like, oh, damn hippies. They think it's all hippie propaganda. That's all. Come on, man. You gotta
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, PBS and all that stuff has always had a decidedly progressive agenda. They've always been very... Well, I mean, you got to remember, this was a show that started in the 1970s, and it showed little white kids running around with little black kids. Dude, that was not accepted in the 70s. So PBS has always been on the outs with the conservative party. They've always seen it as some sort of provocative insurgent force brainwashing our children to accept, you know, a progressive outlook on life. And maybe that is true. But, you know, little kids should be playing with Cookie Monsters and black kids and Asian kids. And their teacher should be a Mexican lady. I mean, come on, man. Why are you teaching kids that different is bad? We're gonna have to send these damn kids out into the world someday. You know, my kid doesn't even know He knows there's black people and he knows there's white people, but he has no clue that some people think one is better than the other or that one is somehow, a negative to be. He has no clue. And I hope to God that's like a cold bucket of water dumped over his head at some point when he gets his car stereo stolen. Dad, you lied to me! No. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, leave Sesame Street. So anyway, there has been so much ridiculous crap coming out of the Republican Party, and what they've determined is that the average American has been turned off by a lot of it, and they've also determined that a lot of it has to do with the Bible, the churches, the big churches in America that turn out people to the votes, and that these mega churches that we have all over here that they'll go up on the they're like perfect little commercials every Sunday for the conservative candidates, and they got in their pocket and they didn't want to let go. But what we found out was, guess who can turn out the vote more than the church-going white folks? The black folks, because you got stomped twice. They got stomped twice by inner city voters and black voters and young voters and gay voters and all the other people that aren't in those mega churches on Sunday afternoons. Everyone else went the other way. So now there are smart people, consultants within the Republican Party who are going, we need to learn from this. We need to learn that what seems like a good thing is actually a bad thing.
But isn't this reoccurring though? Like, the political parties switch in favor of the next generation. Like 30, 40 years ago, weren't the Democrats the bad guys, and now it's
yeah. Well, they're always they're both parties are bad guys. I hate the two-party system. We're gonna excuse ourselves from this conversation for a moment. Yes, Mason. What do you want?
You yelled at me.
Oh, did I yell at you? I think I was just yelling on the radio. I don't think I was yelling at you, buddy.
No, you were yelling at me.
What did I say?
You pretty yelled.
I yelled?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's going on here? Daddy's trying to work.
No, you yelled.
Well, I'm very sorry for yelling at you. Sometimes I raise my voice to you.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to have to pick one microphone and stick with it. You can't drive Jansen crazy trying to turn microphones on as you walk around the mic table. Okay? Yeah? All right, let's do one more song. Let me get him set up in the other room, and then we'll come back, and we're going to listen to a very interesting conversation between Bill O'Reilly and conservative pundit Laura Ingraham, and everything that I just described about this rift that's going on in the Republican Party is playing out right here, and it's fascinating to listen to. We'll also bring in our comments as we listen, okay? So a quick song, and we'll come right back. I'll get the kids settled back down, and we'll get into some more of this. This is a fascinating piece of tape. We'll be back. It's PMS on DeepElmOnAir.com.
There once was a man, lived his life by the plan. His commitment turned into a crutch. Spent every waking hour keeping others in power. Then he never amounted to much. All his hopes, all his fears, all his blood, sweat, and tears, some were shed, but nothing to show. So tell me, where's the good doing all that you should, when it only leads you to hell?
still you say nothing. Tell me why do you say nothing? I say you're beautiful. I say you're a miracle. I say I've never been so sure. Never felt this way before. There's no one like you. Never will be. Someone quite like me. And I could say it till I believe. And you say nothing, nothing to me. You say nothing, and you leave me here with nothing. Leave me crying, still you say nothing. Tell me why do you say nothing? Now you're gone in a cloud of dust. You leave me waiting for some kind of answer. You just look through me, those eyes as deep as black as the universe. And you say nothing, nothing to me. You say nothing, and you leave me here with nothing. Leave me crying, still you say nothing. Tell me why you say nothing, nothing to me. You say nothing, and you leave me here with nothing. Leave me crying, still you say nothing. Tell me why you say nothing, nothing to me. You say nothing, and you leave me here with nothing. Leave me crying, still you say nothing. Tell me why, 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 tell me why.
My Brave Love and Tell Me Why. HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show on DeepElmOnAir.com. Little shout out to one of our fine supporters here at DeepElmOnAir.com, the Glass House. 2 shops in Dallas, one in Dallas, I should say, one in Louisville. 2 shops in the Dallas metro area. Let's see here. Check them out online, theglasshouse.texas.com. They're having a big 420 event. Now let's talk about this a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, 420 event. That suggests what? Why? It's what is 420? 420 is April the 20th.
Yeah.
It's Hitler's birthday. This is a Hitler's
Yeah,
birthday
a lot of
event.
people don't realize that.
That's yeah, right. No, 420 is of course the internationally recognized day of legalization reform.
Yes.
Which is a big day.
It is.
Oh boy, they got all kinds of things going on out there.
They got DJs.
DJs.
They're raffling away $2,000 in glass, and that's at both locations. They have stuff going on that day.
Okay. All right. So that's the Louisville location and the Dallas location. Yep. They're raffling off over $2,000 in beautiful glasswork. A big 420 celebration. DJ's going to be out there, a whole party scene. So check it out at both locations, both Metroplex locations of the Glass House. One in Louisville, one in Dallas. You want to get more specific than that, I would suggest you check them out online. TheGlassHouseTX.com. TheGlassHouseTX.com. And thank you to Gary and all. Or was Gary?
Brad.
Okay,
Brad and Sean.
Brad and Sean, yeah, they're nice guys. They helped out with the HireAHero.org.
Yeah, they did.
Streamathon that we did, and we're very grateful. So
they were our biggest donors.
We will never again will we say a bad thing about Brad and Sean. All those days are gone, where I would sit around and just badmouth them
except
left
for their
and right.
T-shirt guy that they recommended.
What? You don't like the T-shirt guy? Well, hey, don't you talk about Brad and Sean like that.
Yeah.
They're from the Glass House. Yeah. GlassHouseTX.com.
Love those guys.
All right, here's what we were talking about. We were talking about this division that's going on inside the Republican Party. Some very bizarre stuff. I mean, it seems to me the rank and file people on the street that actually participate in polls, they're at odds with the rank and file hierarchy of the Republican Party itself. They just had the big CPAC convention, which is the conservative convention in Washington, D.C. each year of all of America's leading conservatives. And the people that they invited were, those Republican conservative candidates of years past that seem to have done nothing but really just erode the image of the party. The Sarah Palins, Donald Trump, these clown show acts. So CPAC really didn't learn anything and doesn't seem to be listening to the people in the polls who say that those are not the candidates that appeal to them. The candidates that appeal to the average Republican, at least as far as the recent polls go, are guys like Chris Christie, who I love. I love that dude. Guys like Marco Rubio, who I've got some problems with, but man, I find him infinitely more stomachable than Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
Or these other guys. Seriously. I mean, yikes. Chris Christie is cool, man. Let's let him speak on the national stage. Let's hear what he says. Let's vet him a little bit more publicly, because so far I like what I see in that guy. But no, CPAC didn't want to hear from him because he likes Obama, or doesn't even like him, but he got along with him. He stood next to him at a press conference over Hurricane Sandy, and he didn't take a swing at Obama. So apparently Chris Christie's got to be on the outs. See, that's ridiculous. All right. So this is some fascinating audio. You want to listen to this, Jansen?
Yeah.
This is Bill O'Reilly, who I have long been a closet supporter of. I mean, I know that Bill O'Reilly is an act, okay? This is the guy who used to host Inside Edition. And before that, he was kind of a straight local Washington anchor. Then he goes and does tabloid, lowest common denominator, basic Jerry Springer-like television as host of Hard Copy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, man. This guy has had more inventions and reinventions. He's a very smart guy, though. I mean, he's got a degree from Harvard. He is a smart guy. Blue-collar guy. I mean, there are things that I like about him. I just happen to find him, I think he's a master broadcaster, and he's been able to reinvent himself. He can sleep at night doing whatever it is he's doing. I couldn't. I had an opportunity to reinvent myself as one of these Rush Limbaugh clones, and I just couldn't do it. I just can't do it. I could fake it, and I think I'm a good enough broadcaster that you would believe it. But man, I gotta sleep at night, and I got a 3-year-old kid that I gotta look in the eye. I just can't. Talk about being against gay marriage. How am I gonna talk about being against gay marriage? I spent 10 years talking about how much I love the gays. Suddenly I'm against gay marriage. So this is from last night's Bill O'Reilly, where invited conservative pundit, radio host, and hottie, Laura Ingraham.
You're not plugged in.
Oh, I'm not plugged in. Dude, that's a great eye. Good eye there, Jansen. Good eye. That's why you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
That was perfect. All right, so last night, Laura Ingraham on with Bill O'Reilly, and listen to this conversation. We'll stop it and comment, but it's about 5 minutes, and it's interesting. This is the conversation that is being had inside the Republican Party right now.
Reaction, joining us from West Palm Beach, Florida, Laura Ingraham. All right, now you do a radio talk show that's kind of conservative, and Monica Crowley does the same. She'll be coming up behind you. What do you think about all this?
Well, I should point out, all of this is a backlash to Bill O'Reilly the other day saying that the Republican Party needs to stop with the Bible thumping. That if they just leave the Bible stuff alone, that they might fare better with the average American. A position that I happen to believe and support wholeheartedly. So I am on Bill O'Reilly. So this is Bill O'Reilly calling out fellow Republicans saying, stop with the Bible crap. You're losing people. Stop with the gay bashing. You're losing people. And this is him going against a conservative person, and
nice.
Let's see if they get along.
Okay.
Number one, I would say, Bill, there is a feud. I mean, I think look at you and Limbaugh. I mean, both of you are friends of mine, so I'm in this position where I think when you said they have to do more than Bible thump, I don't think you really needed to say that, right?
Well,
I think you could say.
Number one.
Wait.
No. We're going to get very specific, as I told you.
Yeah, I am
before
going
we
to get
on
specific. If you let me talk, I will get specific.
Well,
Can I finish my sentence?
No, because you made two statements that are fallacious, and I'm going to correct them. There's no feud between me and Limbaugh. I don't talk to Limbaugh. I've never said anything about Limbaugh on this program.
I'm talking about the feud about the issue.
There's no feud on my part. I don't care what he says. He can say whatever he wants.
See, Bill O'Reilly this is why I said he's a master broadcaster. Bill O'Reilly sees that the Bible thumpers have ruined the Republican Party and what it is to be a conservative. So Bill O'Reilly right now is staking his flag as like the newfangled conservative who's not going to be the Bible thumper, who's fine with gay marriage, who just wants a smaller government with more responsible fiscal leanings. That's what a strong defense. That I can get behind that. I can understand that. There's not hate in that. The ones that are all about the gays and the other social issues, abortion and all that. There's hate in that.
Yeah.
There's a lack of compassion in that, although they think that they're doing it all in the name of God. So this is very interesting. This is Bill O'Reilly telling look, he just told the entire conservative world that the other biggest name in conservative talk, because make no mistake, it's Rush Limbaugh and Bill O'Reilly. They are the two big ones. He just let it be known that he doesn't talk to Rush Limbaugh. He ain't friends with Rush Limbaugh. He separated himself right there. This is the master broadcaster that Bill O'Reilly has been for the last 30 years, whether it was a straight news anchor doing local news in Washington, D.C., a crazy, edgy, cutting-edge tabloid guy as host of Hard Copy, or the reinvented George Bush apologist of the early 2000s on the O'Reilly Factor. This guy is a brilliant broadcaster. Let's continue on.
Finish. Okay,
No,
let
no.
me finish.
And
I
thump the
like both
Bible.
of you. Let me
Thump the Bible. Listen, you're going to look. I'll give you your time. You just keep it.
I adore
keep
you.
it
I'm just trying to
accurate.
make a point.
All right, and I'll let
Okay.
you make the point.
I haven't said anything yet.
The
Go ahead.
thump the Bible deal
let
was
you make
purely
your
a policy play. Go.
I don't think you need to use the word thump the Bible. I
No.
think this debate about marriage, whether you have to do more than thump the Bible. Okay, Bill. I think this debate about marriage is a relatively recent one. Supreme Court justices, both appointed by Republicans and Democrats, made that comment during the Prop 8 hearings last week, right? So I think the people who are for traditional marriage, this is new to them. And I think you're right. They haven't been very good at PR. They haven't been very good sometimes at making their argument. And you're right. I believe that a lot of them do have a very deeply held religious belief about what traditional marriage is. You're a Roman Catholic. I know I am too, right? We believe people should be treated with respect. I certainly believe people should be treated with tolerance. There should be a meaningful debate on this. I also think you are correct, and you have been very consistent over the years in your statement about what judges should and should not do. Judges should not legislate from the bench, and you've been extremely consistent with that. Now, I think the left loves to see conservatives fighting about this or that issue.
But there
You're
isn't
totally
any
right.
fighting.
They're exploiting this.
There
They
isn't any
always have
fighting.
them.
All right, now you had your say. That was a good 2 minutes. All right. Number one,
I was getting
there's no
coffee,
feud
so I
because
heard none
I
of
don't
it.
participate in the feud. All right. I'm not fighting with anybody. All I'm doing is
talking about
pointing out.
conservatives
I'm
hashing
pointing
it
out.
Hashing it out.
I'm pointing out the unfair attacks that are coming from both left and the right, okay? I made a very, very honest point, and you just ceded it was a correct point, that if you're going to stand up for heterosexual marriage and exclude gay marriage, if you're going to do that, you've got to do it outside the Bible. You can't cite the Bible because you'll lose if...
A round of applause. You know, he is absolutely right. And if someone can come up with another reason why gay people should not be married other than it's in the Bible, give me another reason. And, you know, I might open my mind and come over to your side. I don't know. Give me a reason. But right now, if you're telling me the Bible is the reason that you would stop two people who love each other from being legally recognized in that love, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Because you're nuts. Because the Bible, to a lot of people, is the Word of God. But to a lot of other people, the Bible is no different than a compilation of Grimm's fairy tales. And you got to be respectful of people who disagree. This is why I say the most important thing that we have is the separation of church and state. There must be a recognition that not everyone has to follow the same God. That's what it is to be free. Follow whatever voice you want, whatever it is that's inside of you that leads you to do. If it's a God, if it's an organized religion, great. We're going to welcome you in. If it's nothing at all, if you think that's all crap, come on, you can come in too. And we have to accept the fact that those people are here. So, we cannot make public policy based on your belief in the Bible because it isn't everyone's. Look, you want to make this a Bible, a fundamentalist Christian country? Have at it. There are a couple of fundamentalist Christian countries in Africa that are doing really well.
Did you see that?
Sarcasm.
Did you see the video? It came out a couple of months ago. It was a young preacher, and he comes out and he's talking to Congress, or he's talking during some kind of hearing, and he starts basically what he starts saying is about he makes it to where it sounds like he's almost preaching how gay marriage is, you know, against the Bible, and then he at the end of the video he basically says, and that was from a whole anti-abolishment movement.
I've seen
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That's been around for a long time. You're talking about the guy who got up and was theoretically representing the view of people against gay marriage.
Yes.
Or representing the view of people who want to keep gays from marrying. And he read this whole prepared speech, and then at the end of it, the kicker was that this speech was actually from the 1960s, and all he did was replace the word colored with gay.
Yeah, that's
and that was a great point.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you know what? I got something that we will play today on this whole gay marriage debate. It's worth listening to. It is a New York, maybe you've seen it because it went viral. It is a female New York state rep who represents Long Island, and she made the most amazing speech in favor of New York State legalizing gay marriage. I want to play that for you. I'm glad this whole thing came up. I'll play that before the show is over. It's about 3 minutes of this so eloquent, articulate, smart New York young woman, on the floor of the New York House making this play. It's just fantastic. So let's go back to listening to more of Bill O'Reilly taking on Laura Ingraham.
You do
right,
it.
But Bill, just in response to that, when you say you can't cite the Bible, well, again, I think that's disrespectful to people who really try to live their lives
It's not
according to the Bible.
disrespectful.
I'm not saying everybody.
In their private life, they can. We're talking a
Why are you
policy
yelling at
deal
me?
here. Don't you understand the difference between private beliefs and public policy?
I guess I'm not very well educated. I don't
I guess you
understand.
don't
Bill,
understand because you've done it twice.
I'm making.
Okay, all right. Here's what's going on. She thought, if you remember early on, she said, "Oh, I love you, Bill," blah, 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 the first time he snapped at her. She thought she was going to get preferential conservative Fox News treatment from him. Bill O'Reilly is rebranding himself. I'm telling you, and this is just the start. They are right now fighting. These people, when someone says, "Oh, I guess I'm just not as well educated as you," when someone says that, they're pissed.
Yeah.
That means they are pissed because you have just questioned their level of intellect. All right, let's go back.
Bill, I'm trying to make a point
There
here.
was no insult at all to any Christian belief system in that comment.
I don't think that's what you intended to.
I didn't say there was no insult. It wasn't a matter of intention. It was
Bill,
seized by people.
Bill, I am trying to make a point to you that if people take that the wrong way, if they jump on that point,
yes.
All I can say is I say things all the time. I talk for 3 hours a day. I'm sure I could go back and say, I might not have said it that way.
Laura,
people understand what my point is. Do you ever say anything
in you tonight because you are still, after all of this time, not
okay. Just so you know, in the split screen, I don't think you can see this, but in the split screen, she is pissed. She is rolling her eyes at him. She is looking off camera, like mouthing, "Can you believe it? Like, what is going on here?" She has never had to fight Papa Bear before. Papa Bear has always been a staunch Fox News conservative flag bearer. Oh, sorry, buddy. No, I'm not talking about your Papa Bear. I'm talking about another Papa Bear. I'm sorry. All right, now be quiet.
delineating. Not delineating.
Yes.
You are still saying that I insulted Christians who believe in the Bible. I did not.
Bill,
I was talking purely about
why did
policy.
you use the word thump?
Because that's the way you get it across. There are Bible thumpers, and all they do is say, I object to gay marriage because God objects to it. You don't win a policy debate in America with that.
I'm not doing that. And most of the people I know who have gay friends, gay family members, as I do, I don't simply do that. And I
always got to get that in. You always got to get in that they've got gay friends and family members. Yeah. Always. You know, it's like just replace gay for black.
Yeah,
Used to be, I got black friends.
Not prejudice.
No.
This isn't really my issue.
But you didn't.
But this isn't really my issue and not your issue. You said that before. It's not your issue. You don't focus on it.
You are criticizing me tacitly for using the word "thump the Bible," which was an accurate description
think it helps.
of what people. I'm not in business to help. I'm in business to get things done. If you want to win,
See, that was interesting. See, that when she said that's not helping what? The conservative cause, the fixing this within the conservative party is what she said. She's trying to say we're not fighting, we're just hashing this out. She's trying to play it like we are a couple of like-minded conservative pundits and we're just having a simple disagreement. But when she said Well, how does that help? That reveals a little behind the scenes thing. Like, help what? Like, and Bill O'Reilly is saying, I'm not here to help. That's Bill O'Reilly planting the flag again, going, I'm not here to help. I'm here to do what? He is distancing himself from the conservative right, the AM radio right, the crazy right. He knows that there's an eggshell timer on that. That's got a couple more years before it's got to be reinvented. This guy is a brilliant guy, man. He knows what he's doing. I want to go back and play that help thing again.
Think it was helpful to say that?
Helpful? It was accurate and honest. You will lose the debate if that's all you do. You can't win it.
I think that for some people, it's not about winning a debate, right? It's about actually living the life that they want to live for themselves, for their communities.
He's like, all right.
That's fine.
And it's not, I'm not saying you're out there trying to insult people. All I'm trying to say is that some people took offense, obviously, and maybe it's just, you know, a good thing to talk about it. Keep talking about it. It's not a bad thing.
Listen, I got Crowley and Holmes going to talk about it. I'm not mad at you. I'm frustrated because you, of all of the radio, and I'm going to say this to Laura, don't listen.
Okay.
Don't listen. Of all the conservative radio talk show hosts, you have the most common sense of all of them.
Okay, now they're all
And I disagree with you.
Garbage. And I'm disappointed.
I didn't buy into it.
Yes, you did.
You asked me to talk about Bible.
You bought
your
into
comment
it, and I'm
about
disappointed.
if you've got to do more than Bible thumping, Bill. And all I'm saying is, give it some time to percolate. People will come up with better arguments.
Look, I don't
You're
have
right,
time
it has
to
to be more
percolate.
broad-based.
I don't have time to do any of that. What I'm doing is doing honest commentary.
What I'm doing is reinventing myself, Sugar, because in 20 years I'll still be on TV, and you'll be mentioned in the same breath as Phyllis Schlafly. You don't even know who Phyllis Schlafly is, do you? See? Exactly, because that's what a lot of these bell ringer conservatives of this era of crazy far-right madness, that's what they'll be relegated to. And Bill O'Reilly will reinvent himself, and Bill O'Reilly will be around in 20 years. And what he is today, we won't remember. We won't remember at all. Oh, yeah, didn't he used to be a crazy conservative guy? Oh, yeah, during the Bush administration he was. He'll figure something else out. But he'll stay on TV because he's a master broadcaster. All right, let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up today's show. We'll do it properly. Give you a little watch list. We'll figure out some things to watch on TV tonight. Mention a couple other quick things in passing. Things like, Jimmy Fallon and Jay Leno are getting all weird. It's uncomfortable watching these two. Apparently, it's been announced whether or not that's really going to happen. And that is, of course, Fallon taking over for Leno. That and a whole bunch more on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Right up past the railroad tracks. My stereo won't pick up a damn thing. Forget the people that I met back there. I shrug them off and I headed the wrong way. Hey. If I hear what they say, I know I'm wrong if I do it the right way. What separates us soon will have its own place. I know the world's been waiting for one thing. Never I left my rider past the railroad tracks, 'cause I've been to a dream where I wake up with nothing. So let the notes grow older, I must be too. Mama, sing me away up into the sunbeam. Never will I, ever will I fall in love again. It's true, less I'm with you. Never will I, ever will I hit the road again. It's true, less I'm with you.
Loyal Sally, HireAHero.org, presents PMS on DeepElmOnAir.com. All right, I wanted to play this. We're going to step away again. Instead of playing another song here, I wanted to play this. This is Senator Diane Savino, New York State, making an impassioned speech on the floor about gay marriage. Now, whether you are for or against DOMA or gay marriage as a whole, just listen to this woman. I mean, I'm already for it. And this woman, it was like I was hearing it for the first time. So, I don't know. I just think this is a really amazing speech in a time when there are a whole lot of people making speeches, but not a whole lot of amazing ones. Again, this is State Senator Diane Savino of New York State on the floor speaking on the subject of gay marriage.
I've spoken on this floor many times myself, and I've never been quite as nervous. Not because I'm not sure of my position or how I feel or what I think is the right thing to do. Because I'm not sure what's going to happen, and that's rare for the New York State Senate. You know, rarely do we not know the outcome of bills before they come to the floor. And rarely have we faced an issue as important as this without knowing the outcome. Tens of thousands of New Yorkers' lives are hanging in the balance in this debate. They are either going to go home today knowing that we made history here in New York State, or they're going to go home incredibly disappointed, but certainly unbowed, and the struggle will continue. But I hope that we are going to make that history here today. I hope that we're going to take that step forward to continue the promise of Thomas Jefferson that Senator Schneiderman so eloquently talked about, or eradicate the inequality that Senator Adams described so painfully. I hope that we're going to make that choice. Because I reject, even though I have great respect for Senator Diaz, and I do, and he's not here, but I do have great respect for him, and I have great respect for his religious convictions. But this vote is not about politics. It's not about Democratic politics or Republican politics. It's not about who contributed to what campaign. It's not about who tried to make this body one party or another. It has absolutely nothing to do with this. This vote is about an issue of fairness and equality, not political. It is about the fairness of people who are of the right age, of sound mind, who choose to live together, share everything together, and want to be able to have the protections that government grants those of us who have the privilege of marriage and treat it so cavalierly in our society. That's all this is about. Whether Senator Duane and his partner Lewis, who were two of the most committed people I've ever met. I will tell you, I'm over the age of 40, and that's all you're going to get from me. But I've never been able to maintain a relationship of the length or the quality that Tom Duane and Lewis has. Why should they be denied the right to share their life together? I don't know Assemblyman O'Donnell's partner, but I know he is as committed to him as Tom is to Lewis, and as my friend Matt Titone is to his partner Josh. These are relationships that I envy, and in fact we all should envy. And all they ask for is to be treated fairly and equally and be able to plan for each other in the event something happens to them. The same way Senator Lanza does with his wife Marcelle, or Senator Flanagan does with his wife, or any of those of us here who are married are able to plan and protect the person that we love. You know, I've also been lobbied, quite interestingly on this bill, by people on both sides. I'll tell you one funny story. I was on 6th Avenue in Manhattan. I was in my car. I was driving to make a left turn onto 52nd Street. I was stopped at a light. I had my window open. And a young man on a pedicab stopped and stuck his head in the window of my car, which I thought was kind of strange. But he recognized the Senate license plate on my car, and this was right during the week that the Assembly was taking up the vote earlier this year. And he said to me, "Excuse me, is there going to be a gay marriage vote in Albany this week?" And I said, yes, the Assembly's going to take it up, but the Senate probably won't take it up anytime soon. I'm not sure when. And he said, "Are you going to vote for it?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I believe that people should be able to share their life with whoever they want, and the role of government is to administer that contract that they agree to enter into." And he stopped and he said, "But they're changing the definition of marriage." And I said, "Don't get so excited about this marriage stuff." I said, "Think about this. We just met, you and I, right here at the stoplight. You stuck your head in the window of my car." I said, "Do you know tomorrow we could go to City Hall, we could apply for a marriage license, and we could get married?" I said, "And nobody there will ask us about the quality of our relationship, or whether we've been committed to each other, or any of those things. They will issue that marriage license and we can get married." And he said, "Yes, that's true." I said, "Now, do you think we're ready for that kind of commitment?" And he stopped and he said, "I see your point." And that's really what this is about. We in government don't determine the quality or the validity of people's relationships. If we did, we would not issue 3/4 of the marriage licenses we do. And I know there are many people in the religious community who feel that we're going to force this on them, when that in fact is not true. We have never done that. I'm a Roman Catholic. The Catholic Church has the right to deny me the sacrament of marriage if they determine the person I choose to marry is unfit or our relationship doesn't meet their standards. City Hall does not have that right. That will not change under this bill. That will never change. Religious institutions can continue to practice discrimination with respect to the sacrament of marriage. We don't, we shouldn't. We should not do it for gay and lesbian couples. I know many people are concerned about the destruction of the sanctity of marriage as well, and they view this as a threat. But let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. What are we really protecting? When you look at the divorce rate in our society, turn on the television. We have a wedding channel on cable TV devoted to the behavior of people on their way to the altar. They spend billions of dollars, behave in the most appalling way, all in an effort to be princess for a day. You don't have cable television? Put on network TV. We're giving away husbands on a game show. You can watch The Bachelor, where 30 desperate women will compete to marry a 40-year-old man who's never been able to maintain a decent relationship in his life. We have The Bachelorette in reverse. And my favorite show, which thank God only ran one season because it was truly distasteful, was The Littlest Groom, where 30 desperate women competed to marry a dwarf. That's what we've done to marriage in America, where young women are socialized from the time they're 5 years old to think of being nothing but a bride. They plan every day. There's what they'll wear, how they'll look, their invitations, the whole bit. They don't spend 5 minutes thinking about what it means to be a wife. People stand up there before God and man. Even in Senator Diaz's church, they swear to love, honor, and obey. They don't mean a word of it. And so, if there's anything wrong or any threat to the sanctity of marriage in America, it comes from those of us who have the privilege and the right, and we have abused it for decades. We have nothing to fear from Tom, Dwayne, and Lewis. We have nothing to fear from Danny O'Donnell and his partner. We have nothing to fear from people who are committed to each other, who want to share their lives and protect one another in the event of sickness, illness, or death. We have nothing to fear from love and commitment. My only hope, Tom, is that we pass this bill, the governor signs it, and then we can learn from you, and you don't learn from us. I vote aye.
Yeah? How about that?
Wow.
How great was that? I mean, she was funny. She was serious. That's one of the great speeches that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
On a very important subject, too. I wish he had more power, other than just representing the people of Long Island, New York. But, boy.
It's a shame, man. You're right. That's the kind of people we do need in office.
My God, I mean, that's going back again to the argument that a lot of these opponents of marriage equality, and by the way, that's what I'm calling it now. It's all about branding in this world. It's not about gay marriage. You gotta get the word gay out of there. Too many people get the heebie-jeebies when you say gay. You know what I mean? Get that out of there. Marriage equality. I ask you, who would be against marriage equality?
Right.
You know, it sounds, now we can demonize the people who are against it. So anyway, marriage equality. It's one of the best speeches. I wish she had more power. Yes, I don't know. I love the whole thing about what we, the ones who are so concerned about marriage equality, have done to marriage. A divorce rate over 50%. I loved her talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah.
We are giving away a 40-year-old man on television to 40 desperate women, and yet we're defending marriage. Or The Littlest Dwarf. I remember that television show. I remember that show. Sure, that's how much respect we have for marriage. So, I don't know, I thought that was very interesting. All right, again, that's Senator Diane Savino from New York. You can Google search her. She went viral, and deservedly so.
A Democrat?
I don't know. I don't know. She looks like it. She's a mouthy broad from New York. I'm guessing she's a Democrat. All right. Oh, you know, here's something interesting. Yesterday we drove by the site of the Bush Library.
Yeah,
remember?
Did. Yeah.
And I was actually wrong. that was not the site of the Bush Library.
Oh, okay.
The Bush Library is on the other side of that, and it's already done. It's already done. Because I was wondering, I was like, you know, I thought that was the spot where they were putting the Bush Library, and it had been, they paved it and they knocked down the building, it was there, but then it just sat for like 2 years, and I'm like, shouldn't they be further along? And then just today, there's a big story about how the opening of the actual Bush Library, which is on another block, one over.
Okay.
I guess it's already built. It's not there at the corner of Mockingbird and 75. That is not
good
where it is. However, the opening of the Bush Library is slated for May 2nd. People need to understand that from where we are broadcasting from, we can walk. We can charge people for parking. You know, it's going to be a big deal. The Bush Library is going to open on, I'm not sure. I don't know, like May 1st.
Now, you were saying that you think there's going to be a lot of protesters there.
Oh, absolutely.
Think so? I don't really think so. Protesters,
well,
really?
I promise you this, on the first day, the day it opens, for the grand opening, there are going to be a lot of protesters at the George W. Bush Library. Do you know who is going to be there? No. Look at this. We'll be doing a show. Hey, what if we could do a remote show from somewhere?
We probably should.
We should, yeah. Seriously.
I don't know, though. Secret Service might.
Do we know anybody who? Well, I mean, the equipment. We couldn't lug the equipment.
No, we could do. We have the equipment to do a remote broadcast. In fact, we're doing it this weekend at the Arts Fest. But I'm just worried, how close can we get before Secret Service is like, what the hell y'all doing?
Maybe a frat house. Let's reach out to somebody on campus there. Maybe we can do the show. Because look at this. It is going to be a collection. The first time in history that this collection of heavyweight human being has gathered in one spot. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Well, of course you got President George W. Bush, right?
Oh, we can't get anywhere near that place.
We got President George W. Bush, and of course his dad's going to be there.
Oh.
So we got two presidents, right? What if I was to say every other living United States president is going to be there? Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, George Herbert Walker Bush, and George W. Bush. Yeah, there's a picture of them.
Holy smoke, that's in May?
The President's Club, the entire President's Club will be meeting just a few blocks away from where we are right now in May. Look, here's a picture of them the last time they all got together. But this was in the Oval Office. They're traveling. Have you any idea of what security is going to be like? We probably won't even be able to get to this house to do a regular show.
We won't. There's no remote broadcast.
You've got we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 former presidents and first ladies and their security details, okay? Then you've got the actual sitting president of the United States. He doesn't move with less than 10,000 people. I mean, he's got a crowd around him everywhere he goes. What is happening, Mason? I think it's really cute that you're standing off mic going, do you have something to say?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you want to say?
Who's the
Hey, we're talking about the President of the United States. Who's the President?
United States of America?
Yeah, who's the President?
Obama.
Yeah. See, he can't believe it either. He's 3 years old and he completely fell off his stool saying that.
Hey, you know what we can do?
What's that?
We could actually have Jimmy go out there with his smartphone, and we could do a Google Hangout out there where he could be on his camera and just, almost like Skype in, but not Skyping in.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do something. We're gonna need to send somebody. I'm sorry, on April 25th. Maybe it'll be April 25th.
Oh wow.
Turn the mic down. Mason, you need to be quiet. On April 25th, President Barack Obama, you can turn him off. President Barack Obama will be united with his 4 living predecessors in Dallas for the opening of the George W. Bush Presidential Center at Southern Methodist University. This was confirmed Tuesday by officials. This is a lot of big heavyweights, man. According to the White House Deputy Press Secretary Josh Earnest, both Obama and First Lady, the First Lady's coming too. Both Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama will be on hand when the 43rd President's Library and Museum are dedicated. The last time all 5 met was in January of 2009 before Obama was sworn in a meeting and lunch hosted by Bush in the Oval Office for the members of the world's most exclusive club. President George H.W. Bush, Herbert Walker, and his wife Babs will attend, as will President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, they're bringing the wives. How ironic, as I glance out the front window and there's a black stretch limousine stuck in traffic. Huh. Yeah, President H.W. Okay, so we got... Jansen, did you hear this? This is insane.
Star-studded event.
But not only the president, all the wives are coming, meaning Secretary of State, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is going to be there. Michelle Obama is going to be there. Oh, my God.
How is anyone going to go there besides, Jerry Jones is going to be there. Of course, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Tom Hicks is going to be there. All these guys.
Rich people. I'm sure there'll be an assortment of SMU students sprinkled in, so it looks like regular people got to go.
Yeah, right.
Bill Clinton. Oh, Bill Clinton's going to be in town anyway. Oh, my goodness. Bill Clinton, before this, Bill Clinton is scheduled to do a speech out at Four Seasons Las Colinas. So then he's going to motorcade, because all the other guys will do Love Field. I got to imagine.
Oh, of course.
Now, Love Field is a simple little jump right over to SMU. I mean, it's what? It's 2 miles. I mean, it's adjacent to the SMU campus, Love Field. So, but Clinton's actually going to tie up the roads, man. We're going to have, Clinton's going to have to take his motorcade from, remember, Dallas doesn't have a history of doing motorcades well. So we're overly protective of when we get one.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's going to have to go from Las Colinas all the way here.
I didn't think about that.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you remember the motorcade tragedy from a couple of years ago when the Dallas escort cop got killed?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was awful.
I do remember that.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was right over here by Love Field, right?
It was, no, I thought it was over where the big white bridge is now. I thought it was on that bridge or over there, isn't that like Cesar Chavez or something drive?
Are you sure? Because I thought it was over here by Love Field.
I thought it was on one of the bridges over the Trinity. But, I don't know, maybe it was. I'll look it up. Yeah. Tragic event. President, let's see, who else will be there? Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Senator Hillary Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, President Jimmy Carter, and his wife Rosalind will also be there.
I didn't even know he was still alive.
Jimmy Carter?
Yeah, good for him.
Good for you, Jimmy. Clinton will be delivering a paid speech, his first paid speech since leaving office the night before, 15 miles away at the Four Seasons Resort outside of Dallas. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan. Oh, my God. You're going to add in Nancy Reagan?
Wow.
Oh, my God. The holy mother of American politics? The Mary? Nah,
wasn't it Nancy, the whole war on drugs? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that her thing?
Yeah, that's her thing. But we forgive her that now because she's a 91-year-old sweet old lady.
I don't.
Forgive her that. She ain't coming. She ain't coming.
She's not coming.
Nah, she didn't, from everything that I've been able to sort of tell, she doesn't really cotton to the Bushes all that well. She wasn't really tight with them. He was the vice president. I imagine there was some resentment between Herbert Walker Bush, the vice president, to Ronald and Nancy Reagan. I bet, they probably got shit on a little bit. You know, because Ron and Nancy Reagan, you're probably too young to remember this in detail. Ron and Nancy Reagan were like a rock star couple. They were an old people rock. They were like a Sinatra rock star style couple, you know? But they were big. They were famous. Everybody loved them. Nancy Reagan and her hairdos and her gowns and all that stuff. It was kind of a big deal. So I imagine Barbara Bush probably felt marginalized in the presence of Nancy, and I bet you certainly George Herbert Walker felt marginalized in the presence of Ronnie. And they never really warmed up to it. They never really seemed like post. You know, I think Nancy Reagan talked some shit on W when he was president. I think like she was against the Iraq War or something. There was some kind of shit that was talking. So, at any rate.
Hey, do you think if
you know who Nancy Reagan does like, though, apparently? And this dude is just a swordsman, is Bill Clinton. I don't think there's a chick that has ever met Bill Clinton that doesn't like him. I mean, there are some that obviously will resist his advances, as we've read countless accounts of. But I think like he's just one of those charming dudes. Nancy Reagan likes Bill Clinton. All right, so that's gonna be a huge thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. There will be some protesters there.
President Obama and the First Lady look forward to participating in the formal opening of the library that will be dedicated to a president who led our country in difficult times at home and abroad. It's difficult to fully comprehend what it's like to serve as president of the United States unless you've done it. And President Obama has developed a good relationship with both President George W. Bush and President George Herbert Walker Bush. He has routinely expressed his deep appreciation for the 43rd president's commitment to this country we love and is looking forward to returning to Texas later this month. Oh my God, sending Obama to Texas. That just makes me nervous. The opening of the presidential library is traditionally attended by the living and former presidents, with one memorable exception. Carter skipped the 1990 opening of the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, California, citing scheduling conflicts. Instead, he toured Temple Square in Salt Lake City. A year later, he canceled plans to attend the Reagan Library opening to monitor elections in Zambia, but ultimately reversed course, flying from the country with hours to spare. Oh, that Jimmy Carter, he's such a bitch. Okay, so we got that one. So that's interesting. That's going to be going on right down the street from here.
Wow.
We are going to see. I'm telling you.
It's kind of intimidating, thinking it's only a few blocks away.
Well, I wonder what... all right, first of all, the Secret Service is pretty familiar with this area because we've got a president that lives here. President George W. Bush, you know, the guy whose library they're opening, he lives here. He's in the neighborhood, in the area. So they're probably... Like, I was thinking, would you start a perimeter where everything would be shut down for something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Because understanding that they have not all been together before, really, outside of the Oval Office. And the Oval Office is already protected 365. This is different. They're all going to meet at a neutral location that...
Yeah, that's wild.
You know how many we're going to see? Oh, dude, you know what we're going to see? Do you know up? Oh, man, this is going to be cool. I wish I still lived where I used to live. I used to live right across from Love Field, and I used to do Twitter reports on all the military activity that went on there. Helicopters in the middle of the night and all that stuff. Really cool, like, you know, I don't know what the hell's going on, but it was happening, and because I lived across the street from it, I could hear them taking off. And I lived across the street from the military part where those planes would come in, the National Guard base. So anyway, do you know what kind of activity there's going to be around Love Field? The days prior, we're going to see black helicopters hovering over Highland Park. They're going to be scouting everything. Oh, it's going to be cool. It's cool, man. I bet it's already started. I bet it is already started. If they have publicly made the announcement that they're all going to be there, sure, the advance team has already started to sweep this area.
It's in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's the 25th.
When I worked in New Jersey, the guy I worked for, he had a diplomat from Japan coming, and they came a month before he came and searched all our stuff, gave us background checks, all that thing. It was really weird.
No, well, I had one run-in with Secret Service, and it wasn't my run-in, but another radio show that I was on. Or that was on the station that I worked at, had done a bit where they said they were going to forge a bill. It was just a joke. It was just like a one-off joke. And then our show...
Forge it like a money bill?
Yeah. Like they took a dollar bill and they put it through the new color printer just to see what would happen, you know, what the print would look like. And man, our show came on after theirs. They were the morning show and we were the midday show. The place was swarming with dudes in suits.
Get out of here.
Oh, man, it was like Secret Service. It was a real serious deal.
Jeez.
I don't know. So, how are you progressing on Game of Thrones? Since we're gonna do our little TV segment.
You know, I've watched it all except for the new season 3. But I started it over. I'm probably 4 episodes away from being done with season 1. Because I've been watching it with Kat.
Okay.
And she's never
how is
watched
she taking to it?
She
Your
loves
girlfriend?
it. She loves it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
It was hard to get her to watch it, though. I'm like, I'm telling you, you're going to like it. I don't like that. Halfway through, she looks over and she was like, yeah, you're right, I like it. And I'm like,
So she did like it. Yeah. All right. So this whole Jimmy Fallon thing, Jay Leno, who I'm sorry, I'm just done with. You know, this is the 3rd time that he's been involved in some kind of conspiracy with the person that was going to replace him, or whether or not he was going to replace Johnny Carson. I mean, do not forget that it was Jay Leno stealing The Tonight Show from David Letterman that led David Letterman to leave NBC and end up at CBS. That was 20 years ago. And we all just remember the last time, like 5 years ago with Conan O'Brien, when he forced Conan O'Brien out because everybody wanted Conan O'Brien to have The Tonight Show. Well, now it's happening again with Jimmy Fallon. She's 3 times. Fool me once. You know what I mean? You get the benefit of the doubt the first time.
Yeah.
Second time with Conan, you know, that was obviously, Conan took it like a champ, and he seemed like the victim, and it was easy to blame Leno as the bad guy. Now it's happened again with Jimmy Fallon. So I don't know if you heard this. We'll play a little bit of this. This is from the other night. Leno has been opening his show, his monologue, the last couple of weeks with just brutal shots at NBC executives. Calling them cutthroats and all this kind of stuff, really awful stuff. And Jimmy Fallon has kind of been stuck up, or not stuck up, but sort of caught in this middle, keeping quiet, trying to be the gentleman about it. But every newspaper article talks about this guy stealing, he's stealing the show, and Leno's not going to go quietly. And so they did this the other night. This is how Jay Leno ended his show. Jay Leno's show ends. He says, "Good night, everybody," and then Jimmy Fallon's show started. So this is what they did the other night.
Fallon coming up next.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon's coming up next, all right.
All right, so now they're following Jay Leno backstage. He's walking through the bowels of The Tonight Show.
Here comes Jay. Is it true? Is Jimmy Fallon taking over The Tonight Show? Jay, what's your next move?
Is The Tonight Show leaving LA?
Jimmy taking the show to New York.
All right, now Jay is safely in his office. And now the camera goes cross-country
Jimmy, you're on in 2
to
minutes.
Jimmy Fallon in his office. Jimmy seeing all the newspaper headlines about the Tonight Show scandal. Oh, Jimmy's phone's ringing. And it says from the Tonight Show host.
Hey, kid. How you holding up?
Okay, I guess.
You? Yeah, I'll live. I've been through this before, you know. Gotta admit, I get a little sick of all this.
Yeah, you have your dick.
Hey, Jay, can I ask you something? We're still friends, right?
Yeah, of course we're still friends.
That's good.
Jay Leno's a bad actor.
Only you, every night you throw to me, Jay Leno. In the news, all they do is say I'm replacing you. They think I can woo the demo.
So the network said, here's an idea. Pack your bags, take a hike, NBC.
All right, so they go on.
Tonight, who's gonna host tonight? Is it
show tunes.
gonna be Jimmy or Jay? Tonight, where will they tape tonight? In New York, will it stay in LA?
Tonight, my ratings were alright. 20 years and I'm still in first place. Tonight, I've got Fox on the line, or maybe I could take over. Tonight, tonight, why do they say we fight? I like you, you like me, we're okay. Tonight, tonight, who cares who hosts tonight?
All right, I was done with this about a minute ago. This is none. All right, so we get it. Jimmy Fallon and Jay Leno are friends. Oh, bullshit. Jay Leno is a backstabbing jerk. Have you ever read the book or seen the movie The Late Shift? Oh, my God, you're about to say no, aren't you?
Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
seen it.
my God. Do it right now. Do it right now. Do it right this minute. You need to download, you need to search, whatever it is that you do, The Late Shift. HBO movie from about 15
I remember what
years
you're
ago.
talking about. I never saw it.
It is so good. First of all, the guy who plays David Letterman is awesome. He's awesome. He gets him down like perfectly. But that movie, Bill, God, what was his name? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. Bill Carter. Bill Carter is the longtime television critic for the New York Times who wrote that book. He was there in the middle of it. He watched it go down. And we're talking about the whole Jay Leno, David Letterman feud from 20 years ago. And it is fascinating, the curtain that it pulls back on how sleazy television executives are and how sleazy television people are. I mean, it really does. It was done theoretically from a point of view of a neutral point of view, but it really does make David Letterman out to be the cooler guy, the better guy. It makes Jay Leno out to be a conniving.
But that's from everyone that says stuff about him.
Backstabby.
That's what Howard Stern says about him.
Yeah, that is what everybody says about Jay Leno. But he puts on that act. Hey, everybody, how you doing? He's got that like nice guy. Hey, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just Jay. I like my car. But no, he is supposed to be a total dick. There's a story about David Letterman. Oh, this was so good. David Letterman sat down on the Oprah channel. Oprah's got this show where she just sits down with like icons, like really top-notch, and she interviews them for an hour. And I forgot what it's called, but she did David Letterman. It was a couple months ago. She did David Letterman. She sat down, and if you remember, David Letterman and Oprah Winfrey have a history of feuding. They make fun of David makes fun of her and all that stuff. So they went into all of that stuff. I mean, this is a no-holds-barred interview that Oprah does with these people. David Letterman was asked about his relationship with Jay Leno. And, 20-something years later, has he buried, is that all water under the bridge? David Letterman was like, no, Jay and I, we were really good friends. Jay Leno was given the Tonight Show essentially because I put him on my show, the David Letterman Show, all the time, and I showcased how good he was because we were friends. But then as soon as, Jay got a little bit of power, he turned into this completely other person. And then Dave told a story about young Jay Leno, 30-something-year-old Jay Leno, when Dave and Jay were still doing the clubs together. Like all the local comedians that we know, like Paco and Brad and all these guys that hang out together. Well, there was a time when David Letterman and Jay Leno were at that level, and then they were friends. And David Letterman said that Jay Leno, this is the kind of guy Jay Leno was, Jay Leno would make sure to get video recordings of all of their friends bombing on stage. And then Jay would always try and get David Letterman to come over and watch and make fun of their friends bombing. And Jay said to Oprah, Jay goes, that just, I don't know, maybe it's my Midwestern roots, but that just doesn't really appeal to me. I don't want to sit there and watch my friends fail. But Jay found some joy in it. Jay found some curious, entertainment from watching people fail. I think that story told me all I needed to know about Jay Leno. Yeah. Jay Leno's a jerk. He's a jerk who puts on an act and he appears to blue hairs watching, TV at 10:30 at night in Nebraska. And he appeals to them because they don't look any deeper than the phony baloney bullshit you get on TV. Jay Leno can fool those people. David Letterman, by the way, is a sarcastic, snotty prick, but he doesn't try and hide that. That's David Letterman's act. He's a sarcastic, snotty prick, and that's why we like him. Jay Leno's a big fraud. And, I also have to say that Jimmy Fallon, I'm not a Jimmy Fallon fan either. Jimmy Fallon does a pretty good job on that show. They do some pretty unique things with the format of late night talk show. But Jimmy Fallon himself is so milquetoasty. Ugh. There's like no, you know what he is? He's like a spork. He's as dangerous as a spork. Sure, you can like prick yourself every once in a while, but you ain't gonna really hurt yourself with a spork. He's the spork of late night television. I also don't like that he does those bank commercials for that awful bank company. but he acts like they're just really cute and fun and warm and cuddly. Have you seen those? No, you don't even watch it because you probably don't see it. He's like a big spokesperson for Citibank. I think it's Citibank.
Who is?
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh.
He's always like, hey, Citibank, put your money in Citibank because look at me, I'm just like a cowboy. Oh, no, I'm just like a Viking. I mean, just really stupid, dumb ads for this horrible corporate criminal. And I just think that any star that I would like and that I would appreciate would know better than to endorse them. Yes, Mason, what do you want? I'm ranting against the man. You're going to cut me?
He's trying to show you his sword.
Did you make a sword?
Well, actually, I did.
Yeah. Oh, did Jedi make that sword for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why don't you get on mic? We're going to say goodbye. All right, it's Wednesday night. Here's what's on television. Well, when I went to pull tonight's listings, my Time Warner cable guide, when I scrolled 4 hours ahead or whatever to tonight's prime time, it said no information available, no information available. You know, it says that sometimes. So here's what I would tell you I would watch on Wednesdays. I really like the show The Neighbors. ABC, I believe it starts at 7:30. Yes, it's at 7:30. 8 o'clock is Modern Family. It's another good one. And then you can round off the night at 9:30 or 8:30, I'm sorry, with Suburgatory. There you go. Cool. 3 decent ABC sitcoms if you got nothing to watch. I wish I had more, but we can thank Time Warner Cable for not updating my TV listings properly today. All right. Anything else? Anything from you?
Just thank you to the Glass House for being great sponsors.
Yeah. Thank you to the Glass House, and also, I need to start doing this. I'm doing a comedy show at Stratos.
Oh yeah.
The greatest Greek restaurant in all of Dallas. Love this place. They got a fantastic showroom, a great stage. We're gonna get a bunch of comedians together, and we're gonna go and we're having a nice night. We're gonna have a fun night. Maybe we'll invite everybody from Deep Ellum on air out there and make it a whole big show thing.
Be great.
We'll see as that progresses.
Oh yeah,
but that's going on at Stratos. If you really want some delicious Greek food, they have the best damn gyro. I think I'm going to get gyros. I think I'm going to order a couple of gyros for me and my boy. My boy's never had a gyro before. Check it out, Stratos, Northwest Highway in Webb Chapel. Oh, or check them out online, Stratos Taverna. Oh, I want to say .com, but that might be. You might have to Google search that.
We also got the Arts Fest this weekend.
Yeah. We should talk about that. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff at the Arts Fest in Deep Ellum.
Every day.
Every day, broadcasting live.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got it.
Very good. All right, that's going to do it for today's edition of PMS. HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show. Heard exclusively every day at noon, but this week at 2 on DeepEllumOnAir.com.
Oh, you're so perfect. Baba, you are amazing. I don't know how any other way to say it, but you are. Everything about you, it's perfect. Would you like some cheese? No cheese? Yes? How do you call it? You're like a Thanksgiving turkey. It's... I think...
Shh. It's over. I'm done.
How can you say that?
I got things to do. I have to follow my dreams and my passions. Finito. Fiend. Finished. Finito. I gotta live my life. This boat's gotta float. Open road, it's calling me. Spread these wings.
What do you mean, it's over?
I mean, if you want me to sing it to you.
I said bye-bye, my love. You know I walk these streets alone, so alone. Into the fire, my love. I'd rather face the sticks and stones on my own. And there she goes, with those wasted days I spent alone. I'm past that shit now. Don't shoot me down. My fears keep chasing me around. Look fast, I'm passing you now. The roads are open and the skies are I said bye-bye, my lover. You know I walk these streets alone, so alone. Into the fire, my lover. I'd rather face the sticks and stones on my own. I'm leaving town, not sure when I'll be touching down. First class, but last place somehow. But the roads are open, and the skies are falling down.